account lottery. Oh yeah, it's gamer time. It is gamer time. We are gaming. My mouth is moving again. Plentitudes are to come. Let's get started. I want to get the thingy up. Hold on. I forgot to add the thingy. You know, the thingy, the the thing that makes me immersive. Okay, but welcome in, gamers. Hello. Where's my little button thing? That's what I'm looking. The thing that makes the display lighting. Okay, that's what it's called. Okay. My tits. Okay, hold on. Tits. I got this. I knew I was forgetting something. I couldn't figure out what, but I knew I was forgetting something. Let me grab that and then let me beat the shit out of myself just for you. Hold on. Wait, no. I need the button. I need to see the button. Okay, good to know that's working. There you go. It should be working now. Okay, and then this one, window, cyberpunk. Okay, there we go. Oh, I'm in the dark. Okay, let me make myself a little smaller, right? Just so I'm not taking up the whole screen. I don't know. Something like low-key, can I say my piece for a second? I love VTubers, right? But sometimes I'm always like, I see a lot of VTubers with really cute overlays, and don't get me wrong, they look cute, but sometimes it's like, there's like stuff over here, and then there's like stuff over here, and then the model is like all the way over here. I'm like, where do you see the game? What about the game? What about the game? I don't know, I always thought about like commissioning like a really cute overlay, but that's my thing is I'm like, I want the game to be focused. So yeah, I'm cool too, I guess, but the game. Okay. Let's continue. And last time, when we played Cyberpunk, we made it very, very far with Panem, but not far enough. We made it far, but not far enough. So, like, we kind of, like, had something going on. We had a traumatic experience with her a little bit. One of her friends died, which, you know, it happens. It really do be like that sometimes, you know. And then, we started, I don't remember what happened after. I think we ended right after that, because that was a long quest, right? We blew some shit up. We blew a lot of shit up. And a radio communication broadcast where she was, like, going to tell her friends, like, hey, get out of there. Don't help out there. We did that, you know. Didn't go through, and they went out there, and some baddies killed them. Not baddies affectionate, like hot bitches. I'm talking baddies, like, bad people. I think it was cops, actually, because we were doing illegal shit. So we just got out of meeting with Panem in this hotel room, and nothing happened. Like, nothing, well, okay, things happened, but nothing spicy happened. Actually, we did also meet with Takamura as well, and we beat the shit out of somebody, right? That's what we were doing, is we were getting the, let me grab my journal, hold on. Let's see. Yeah, so we also found the guy with the chip, and we beat the shit out of him. Is there anything with, like, does Panem have, like, a specific quest? I'm wondering. I do need to get this free reward. Because I don't want to, that's my, oh, I have a debt? Oh, that's right, I have a debt. I need to pill that. Does he have a due date on my debt? I mean, I don't want to die. I'm wondering if we should do something else or just follow my heart. Because my heart says, go meet Takamura. So I guess we'll do that one. How far is that? It says 2.3k kilometers. So that's probably a while. Where's the closest fast travel thing? Alright, scan the mirror to find a tarot card. Oh, okay. Hi, Cola! Let's see. I think, it's not showing me. Do I not have little fast travel things over here? Like waypoints, I guess? No. Okay. I thought... Guess I don't have any. Okay, yeah, I'm kind of like... I'm in a different neck of the woods than I'm used to, so that would make sense. Here we go. We'll go to Jig Jig Street, actually. Do I not have a fast travel thing over here, though? I guess I don't. Alright. Well, let's get the car. Because it looks like we're gonna have to go on a drive. Let's do the motorcycle. The motorcycle was fun. It was kind of hard to control, like harder to control than the other cars, but it was fun, you know. So surely this'll be fine. So let's give her a whirl. I wonder, you know what I wish this had that it doesn't have? I wish it had a horn. I want to beep at people. You know, like I like being, video games let me live my fantasy of being an aggressive driver, okay? I love my mom to death, right? But like, the one thing that I give her shit for, that I still give her shit for, right? I'm gonna get on this road. Hi DJ, welcome in, gamer. The one thing I give my mom shit for all the time that she does a lot, and like, when we were kids, one of the things she did, oh shit, that's not my problem. Anyway, wait, put him. I know texting and driving is bad, but it's for a pretty woman. So, you know, been thinking a lot about things, about the shit with Saul, about Mitch and Scorpion, about the family I had, lost, left, adopting. Oh my gosh, she's trauma dumping to me. It's happening. Didn't know this would be this so fucking complicated. I don't get what's happening to me. I'm in this city, free to do whatever I want with my life, but fuck, am I really free? If I left my old life just because things started getting inconvenient, that would mean I'm always going to be running. Does that make sense? Why would I hit her with just the, okay, here, why don't we call her? Do you want to talk, girlfriend? You want to talk? We can have a talk. Left control. Maybe I don't have it, I guess there's no horn on the bike. Is she picking up? Hey, how are you?
Make up your mind yet?
About what?
God, texting and driving's difficult.
Part of me just wants to drive down the open highway and never look back.
That's kind of what I'm doing, except I'm a terrorist, but you know, same difference. Go faster. Where's my beep beep? Oh shit. Here, I'm just gonna go around the traffic. There we go. You'll do the right thing.
Whatever happens.
Yeah, go around the traffic. Here's my exit. Okay. You guys are so slow. Jesus Christ. Did you sort things out with Rogue?
How's it going with Rogue?
Oh God.
That's going. Knock on wood.
It is going. Texting, drinking, and driving. Yeah, you know, I'm not drinking, but we can always change that. Like, I mean, I guess it's okay to talk. Do you have any? Oh fuck! I'm trying to read the dialogue, but I'm also.
No complications with King Tut.
I'm trying not to crash my fucking motorcycle. Okay.
Another patrol around the station. But they're dead set that it
Okay,
was
here we go.
right
Now we're.
down their
There we
AT
go.
helmets,
Okay.
but
Okay.
Station's proprietors sticking to that version. So we're
Oh
covered.
shit! My turn. What? Okay. I'll talk to you later then.
Talk soon, B.
Okay. I think that went
Take
well.
care.
I think that went well. Should I still respond to her text, or was calling her enough? Right? Like, should I don't know. Hi, Tab! Welcome in! If I called her, but is she gonna be mad if I don't respond to her text? We just got off the phone with Panem after all that lesbian tension. And I'm like, I don't know. I feel like she's gonna be, oh, Judy messaged me. What? Judy? Everyone's calling me! I'm so, not yet. Not yet. I'm working on it. I can imagine. Can we just talk about this? I'm driving! Take care of yourself, okay? Oh, thank you, Judy. Judy's sweet. I like Judy. But, like, oh, I don't want you to end up like Ev. Ooh. How is she doing, by the way? Because she was kind of incapacitated. I feel like I should call her. No changes. She's trapped deep in her brain somewhere. Must be going through hell. Sorry, gotta run. Oh, okay. Bye. I guess I'll call her later. Yeah, I should text. Here. Wait, oh, is there more? We'll do this one. Because I feel like if I hit her with just okay, I deserve to be ghosted. That's the worst feeling in the world. When you're like texting someone and you have like really in-depth conversations and then out of nowhere it just goes from like that to just like, okay, cool. Hi. Like when that happens, just tell me you think I'm annoying and I'll go, okay? All right, here we go. Well, she's typing? She's typing immediately. If she starts typing back immediately, she likes me. Or she's heavily emotionally damaged. Oh, shit. Wait, I didn't get to pick that one. It just happened. What about Saul? I can't change him. And I can't change what I think about him, so don't go lecturing me on compromises, please. I didn't mean to, but trust me, you can live with someone you don't always get along with. Sounds corny, but it's true. You'll see. I feel like I'm lecturing her. Like, she said don't lecture me, but, like, I don't know. The game didn't give me good options. The game never gives me good options. Now, everyone's in my DMs. Everybody wants to talk to me. What is up? Takamura. Bazaars on the upper level, quite high, so it's worth using the public elevator. I think there are two. Wasn't I supposed to say that? The fox sneaks to the chicken coop. Sure, we'll say this one. So I'm playing female V, but the thing is I'm very gay, and I don't like the romance options for Fem V. Like, I like Judy, and apparently the only other guy I can romance is, like, kind of a dick. I wanted to romance Takamura, okay? I wanted some sweet, old man enemy to lovers type shit, you know, but the game wouldn't let me, which is lame. But like, so I modded it. I don't have, this is my first playthrough, okay? This is like my first playthrough, first time ever playing it, but I was so mad that I couldn't romance Panem. I learned how to mod this game too. River's not a dick, he's just a cop. I don't want to fuck a cop. I'm sorry. Taki romance. Yeah, I'm telling you, enemies to lovers. The girls love enemies to lovers, okay? CD Projekt Red, make it happen, okay? I will pay for it. I will pay DLC price if I get to fuck him, okay? But anyway, I was welcome in Orange. What I was talking about before everyone slid into my DMs, because I'm just not popular. But basically, one of the things that my mom used to do when I was a kid that always used to bother me, I don't even remember how, why I was going to say this or how this came up. Is it this way? No, it's not this way. Hold on, let me turn around. My mom's really paranoid about, everything. So, I'd be like, hello, Mom, I'm going to go to the gas station with friends to get snacks. Because when you live in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, that's what you do for fun. You go to the gas station, you get snacks, and you talk shit in the parking lot, okay? And what she would say, she wouldn't say, okay, be safe, have fun. She would be like, okay, and make sure you lock your doors and watch your surroundings, because if you don't, you'll get raped and murdered. And if you're lucky, they'll murder you first and rape you second. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I asked my sister about this the other day, and I was like, did she do that to you too? And she was like, oh yeah, yeah. And I was like, what? And at one point, it would just come up even completely unprompted. My parents really like watching Russian dash cam car crash videos, and which I don't know if that's normal. Good for them, I guess, you know. But she would we'd be watching the dash cam videos together, you know, and we would laugh about it. We'd be like, haha, that's crazy. Oh my god, that person doesn't know how to drive. And then my mom would say the same shit. It's like, ma'am, we were chilling. So it's I know she means well, and I know she's very protective of me, cause let's face it, I'm a little stupid. So I don't entirely blame her. Did I accidentally fall for a energy scam the other day and then have to make several phone calls to fix that? Yes, I did. I'm a little gullible and I'm a little naive, right? But oh. But yeah, so let's take a look over here. Oh my god. Wait, Elizabeth, who called me? Hey.
Hello, we haven't met. I'm Elizabeth.
Hi.
My husband and I, we need a somewhat delicate matter handled. We think you could help.
I'm just looking at all the food. Who's your husband?
Mind my asking?
She's
who your
pretty,
husband is?
so I'll do whatever
Actually,
she wants, I
who are
guess.
you?
I'd rather not discuss
We only
details
accept
over
Euro
the phone.
dollars. Oh, so no
Please
PayPal?
meet
Damn.
with us. We'll explain everything. As I said, it's a rather delicate
Okay. MILF guard. Oh, I love MILFs. Why call me? Yeah, how do you
Why
know
call
me?
me of all
What's
people?
your, what?
Any particular reason?
Huh?
I do
You
not
came
understand.
recommended.
Does
Yeah,
our
who
hustle
by?
Oh
got
god,
no
now there's two conversations happening that I need to listen to.
Look around.
I do love this game, but there are some times where I'm like, damn, we are using all kinds of sensory shit. Yeah, we'll meet. Okay.
Sure, let's do that.
I'll just, as long as I can do it later.
I'll send you the address. See you.
Yeah, I'll see you later. Okay, anyway. Hi, Takamura. What's up?
Ah, you are here.
Hi. What are we doing?
Why? What are we doing here?
Have you ever gone to the sex shop? I think it was not last stream, but the stream before. I accidentally fucked a prostitute. And the reason, okay, well, it wasn't accidentally. I knew that I was going to Pound Town. Oh, thank you for the lurk, Lagwolf. I knew that I was going to Pound Town. But I'm used to some of my Skyrim mods or other games where it's a fade to black thing, you know? And I was like, okay, let's fuck a prostitute. She kind of looks like Shadowheart Baldur's Gate. I love that. So I went to go do that, and then next thing I know, there's POV shots of me with the strap, and I'm like, damn! It was kind of it was an experience. It was savage. I didn't expect it to be that detailed, but we'll take it. Are you gonna get the dildo baton? You know, I think I will. Actually, I have been enjoying. I have been enjoying hitting people with my bonking stick. So
one for
a
subtlety, is
dildo
he?
would be even funnier,
Still
right?
don't see
How
how
do
this
you
gets us
can you
anywhere.
imagine getting the shit kicked out of you? It's like, what happened? It's
I
like,
have had
oh
a nightmare.
man, I just got my fucking
Look to
shit
the
rocked. It's like,
sky.
what they hit you with? Holy fuck! And it's like a 12-foot bad dragon, bear cock.
The dash flows.
I think I would just let myself bleed out on the ground and die.
If
I
I
don't
could
think
just
I would
get
have the
onto
willpower
Hannah
to
Osama's
explain it to
float,
someone.
I
You know
could
the
speak
people
with her
they're
in
like,
private.
okay.
Get there.
Not to
how?
be gross, but I'm gonna
Why
be gross,
jump?
right? You know how sometimes people shove things up their ass they're not supposed to do? You know?
Expectations way too high.
First of all, if it doesn't have a
You pull
flared
that
base,
off
don't
even
try,
if you had
right?
your
But
fancy
like,
implants.
low key, I can't.
thought of a
I guess I
solution.
can imagine, but I
While
can't.
you
Like
are
going to the
occupied in
hospital
your
is like, so
shady
what we have
I
here? It's like,
know
well,
about the
I shoved 12 expo
They
markers
are
up my
all
ass and now
kept
I'm
in one
bleeding.
All
How?
right,
Like I
that's
could
the
never. Like I
It
don't
is
know. I
there
couldn't do
that
it.
they
I could
prepare
not have the
them.
guts to explain to
We
someone
need
because
only
you
to
can't
break
lie
into the
about
compound.
it. You know what I
Find
mean?
the
Like they're
right
gonna
code
find
and inject
out.
a virus
You know,
into
but
its
like,
system.
I don't know. I just
You will
wouldn't
then
have
be
the
able to
chutzpah
disable
to
any
explain
security
that the
device
reason I'm like
inside.
internally bleeding is because I shoved like 12 expo markers up my ass.
Lots of ways
You
to
know?
skin this
I can
particular cat,
do.
you know.
Explaining how you
Training.
died
I know
after
what
getting
you
beat
need.
up by a dildo in the
It is
afterlife.
taken care of.
Name a drink after me for
I
that.
have an
Honestly,
infected shot.
honestly, I would
It was
deserve
not
it at that
cheap,
point.
But the man who
What's
sold it
going
to
on?
me
I'm
guaranteed
sorry.
It will work.
I don't know. One of my
Where'd you
my
get this
favorite
shot?
shows growing up used to be,
Across the
I say
canal.
growing up, but it still is
Kabuki.
now. You were showering and you
actually
fell,
been
the
that
12
piece of
expo
software.
markers were just in the
And if it
wrong
isn't,
spot.
got a few tricks up my
Yeah,
sleeve.
I accidentally slipped on this
This is
Magnum
good to
dong. But basically, there was this show called Sex Sent Me to the ER. There was also like other like ER shows,
Let us
but the
move
reason I liked it is because it was always the most wild shit, and they would have the real people. Like they wouldn't just have the doctors telling the stories; they would have the real people telling the story. So like, not only do you have to tell doctors you shoved 12 expo markers up your ass, but there's some people that will go on national television and tell everyone about it, which is crazy. I just
But I may have an answer.
I just burnt out a fart, literally burnt my ass. Godspeed, soldier.
If we gain
Godspeed.
access to them,
But like, yeah,
we'll
they would.
see
But they also
exactly
had like
where
really
the
shitty,
snipers are.
like
You can deal with them. as
like
I am.
reenactments. Like they would reenact the hospital scenes, which is wild. to
Sounds
me.
like
it
a
was
plan.
crazy.
You agree just
Okay, I
like
should
that.
probably pay attention to the
The
story and
risks
not
are
just think about
Yeah, well.
things in asses
more
that
and more
shouldn't
used
be.
to that.
I can. Look at the giver.
Now,
It's a part of an
what would you
elaborate
say
kink.
to
They are all
small
finally
test?
realizing.
We must
You know
try
what?
the shot.
It could just be a
camera
long
control
con
room
exhibition
is
kink.
in
Which,
front
like, at that point, I can't even be mad. Like, they
You
really
must get
played the
inside
long
and
con.
infect
I
the
was
network.
baited,
That is
you
all.
know?
Uh-huh.
Alright, what are we
In the
doing?
meantime, you'll do what? Crack open a can
Kiss
of
me on the
soda?
mouth. That is what you'll do in the
I will
meantime.
not touch alcohol at work.
I don't know, like,
I will watch
I'm
your
usually
back.
not into old,
Now,
like,
get
guys
to
or, like, older dudes, but, like, something about him, I'm like, do you want to kiss?
Hey.
Oh, hi,
I
Claire.
don't think I know you.
Who are you?
I'm Claire.
V?
Oh, yeah.
Remember
Huh?
me?
Sorry, I'm
Bartender
taking a
at the
phone call.
Afterlife?
I'm taking a phone call.
Uh-oh. Forgot to close my tab.
Bar has a buzz about you lately. As the bar
Hi.
who's reliable.
I think
It's
Claire's
ghost town.
readable. Yeah,
And since
I'm
I
on
need
a phone
help,
call.
Okay.
Need a
I'm on a
driver
phone call.
for street races. Drop by
Street
my auto
races?
shop, I'll tell you.
Street races? Fuck yeah!
Where is it?
In Arroyo.
I want to
Valley.
do street
Lovely
racing.
spot. You can't miss it.
Wait,
All right.
can I
not to.
still run over
Come out
civilians
there
in
when
street
you arrive.
racing?
Time to
Hey,
waste, V.
I'll show up after my shift.
I don't know if I want to play if there's no
Okay.
like.
See you, Claire.
Never mind. Okay. Anyway, breaking into security room. Hello. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Wait, what? How do I break in then? Oh, maybe it's a tech thing. Evie, how is your driving? Personally, I think my driving's fantastic. But that's just me. You know, that's just me personally. Okay, I'm a little biased, but I think I could do it. I think I've got the chutzpah. You know, how do I break in here? I don't have strength. I'm kind of a wimp. What's this? Samurai. 30 years later. That's cool. Can I get a hot dog? I don't know. I don't think the people who you ran over would think the same. Well, this ain't about them. This is not about them. Are they here to defend themselves? Didn't think so. Yeah, how the fuck am I gonna... Roof or some port? That's what I'm thinking. Because there's also, like, that exit door over there. Because I don't see anything... Spontaneous craving satisfaction machine. You know what? Can I make it fucked up? No. Okay. Jump on up. Okay, I guess we're jumping. Where? Here we go. Parkour. Okay. Parkour. There we go. Parkour time. Can I get in through here? Yeah. Okay. I knew it. Okay. There we go. Break into the security room. I should probably be crouching because I'm sneaking. Okay. Sneaky beaky. New release brain dance. Condoms. Oh, I just got porn. Oh, nice. Okay. How am I gonna infect the security system? If you no longer go for a gap that exists, you are no longer a racing driver. Yeah, I grew up with NASCAR. Okay, my dad used to take me to NASCAR races, and as a young autistic child, they did scare the fuck out of me. But like, I know about turning left. Okay, I know when they say 4 wide, I know what that means. It's like they say in cars, turn right to go left. Okay, hi procrastinator, welcome in gamer. All right, let's see. Why is this security room so horny? Like, there's brain dances, there's condoms, there's sex. Why is there sex here? There shouldn't be sex here. Do your job. Are you telling me people would jack off and not do their job? That's crazy. NASCAR is the GOAT of racing. I like Formula 1 too, but I definitely like, I don't know. I haven't been to a NASCAR race in a while, and I kind of want to go again. My dad's going to the Daytona 500. Bro, my dad's been wanting to do a stream with me for a while. Like, I don't know what his, like, just out of nowhere the other day, he was like, we should do a stream together. We should do a stream together. Like, just unprompted, I'm like, okay, we can. He's just like, let me know, bro, you know. But he will gladly just come onto my stream and just info dump about NASCAR. He did the thing at one point where he paid a bunch of money and he got to drive a stock car. He has like a picture from it, and they like put him in the suit and everything, and they like recorded his time and everything, and he keeps it all like, he has it all framed, and we keep it on the wall. It's honestly really wholesome. There's people who don't jack, you know, okay, here's the thing, right? Actually, no, I'm not gonna make this joke. Because I was about to say, I'm like, there's people that do that. I would like, I worked at a school, and now I work from home. Like, if someone did that at my work, it would be a felony. But I guess if you're just at like a security shift, it'd be okay. Do you think people jacked off at Freddy Fazbear's? Like, that's what I'm thinking about now, right? Like a security gig, right? Is there like, there's an alt cut of Five Nights at Freddy. Oh yeah, fuck the dialogue. I'm eating. What is this? It looks good as shit. Don't clip that! Don't clip that! Like, that's the thing, is that, can I just keep eating? I'm eating. Oh my gosh, she ate 2 at once. Damn. I'm not eating. I'm eating. I'm not talking till I'm finished. Okay, that was good. Can I eat again? Give me another one. Who's paying for this? Can I have another one? Takamura's not bad. Oh wait, Johnny's here. I didn't even fucking know, bro. She took 2 bowls at once. The food was just that fucking good. I didn't even notice I was hallucinating. Hey, bro.
Chill, Johnny.
Takamura's my friend.
Isaka scummed at you. I know that, but Goro's not a bad guy.
If I was playing Male V, we would have sweet, hot, old guy Yowie. And you're just jealous. You're just jealous of my old man Yowie, aren't you, Johnny Silverhand? Get fucked. Are you good? Damn, he's also like just chowing down. This shit's gotta be. What is it? What do you mean? You don't like it? I thought it was great. You don't like it? Oh, bro.
Okay.
Can I have it? Are you gonna eat that?
One.
Are you gonna eat that?
1.5. We have Hanako-sama's float.
I'm paying attention.
2. During the parade, with my help, you eliminate any snipers. 3. I get onto the float.
Are you gonna eat
4.
that?
I convince Hanako-sama of the truth.
Oh, okay. Well, we've done stupider shit than this before, so why not? Fuck it.
Well, sounds like a suicide run, but done dumber shit than this.
But are you gonna finish that?
Things even
I
more
want to
stupid
know.
stealing from Arasaka.
None dumber yet, no. Set the bar pretty high with that one.
Now, we part.
Okay.
Reconnaissance is required.
What are you doing? Don't
Okay.
let him off his leash. Let him stray even a couple of feet. You can say goodbye to his fucking army.
You know, I trust him. I
Yeah,
trust
got
him.
enough on
Fuck
my
you.
plate as it
Fuck
is.
you, Johnny. I trust
you
him. He's
handle
my
that.
friend. And you're not my friend. Yeah, go away. Get out of my brain.
Ultimately, to defend the well-being of my family.
Louder! Louder!
That is why I have decided to double the amount of our active
Flash.
Night City security
Yorinobu.
forces. President
Yeah, I'm
Myers
playing
has
a
called this
cyberpunk like in the tabletop RPG for this game, and I was reading through the book and I was like, wait, is it the same people that they're talking about? Because they're not in the exact same timeline as like
What do we
Cyberpunk
call the
Red
murder
and
of my
Cyberpunk
father?
2077, but
Was
they're
that not a
pretty close.
provocation?
So like you still hear about in the
Was that
tabletop
not a-
RPG about like Yorinobu and Hanako and stuff like that.
Before Yorinobu set fire to it from the inside, all of this began with him. The factions, power struggles, all of this.
Kusa means shit. Translator's note. Well, him dying probably wasn't great.
Old man's death must have really fed the flames between the different factions.
That is exactly what happened.
What's the balance of power look like now?
Kiji longs for stability. The old order. They are united behind.
Can I get another one?
The
That was
liberal
really good.
wing, Hato, support Michiko-sama, Saburo's granddaughter. I know little about her. And then there is Taka, treacherous dogs who support Yorinobu.
TL notes
Not
are
to mention
appreciated.
smaller factions.
Basically,
Tell me about him some other time.
Why did he allow it to happen? But yeah, I've really been enjoying reading through the
Can't get my
Cyberpunk
head
book
around it.
about like the
kept his
history
son on a
and
short
stuff like
leash.
that. It's been, I don't know. I feel like it's gonna make playing the game more fun because now I know more of the
And disciplined
backstory.
man. The strongest man I have ever known.
I didn't realize how like
And yet, at the
deep set and
critical
like
moment,
well, like I guess I knew,
he
but like
showed
the
a
alt history goes like way back to like the 90s and
For
shit.
his
They
daughter.
retconned 9/11 and then made a new
When
9/11.
you're
Shit was
young, for
crazy,
his band
right?
of
Well, I don't know if it was still on
he
9/11.
declared war
So-
on his own family.
I don't know if you can still call it that.
Could
But
have
they like did all
crushed
kinds
him
of weird
with
shit.
one
It's, I don't know. I think alternate history is
Yet
really
he
cool.
did not.
But there's something
For he did not wish
there's
his
something
daughter
wild to
suffer.
me about like yeah, there's no more
When
9/11. We
returned,
retconned 9/11.
his tail
Here's a
to be
different
his
9/11.
She
Like, I think it was something that was like one of the
her father to
gangs.
Give him a second
I don't know.
chance.
I don't know.
Do
It was
you
just like
understand?
it was like the same idea,
Hanako-sama
you know, the same
saved Yorinobu
premise,
from
just
the
different guys,
consequences
you know.
of his deeds.
Do you blame Hanako?
Wait. Think she's complicit?
The
in
cartels
Saburo's
nuked
murder?
New York. Yeah.
I think we are all to blame.
So it's like
We allow
know,
ourselves to be tricked.
same genre
But
of
we
national
will correct
tragedy,
this
I guess.
soon.
Can I say that?
Time for
I
some
don't think I can say that. I'm
reconnaissance.
sorry.
Wait for my call.
I'm sorry. This is why I stick to fantasy RPGs. I'm so I need to just shut the fuck up. Okay. Anyway, go to the chapel. Why did I say thought it said Taipei for a second? I have no fucking idea. Tap, congratulations on redeeming first. Alright, let's see what else is in the area actually. Because I feel like Chinese Silverhand is my favorite. Something about the little like ooh woo face with the can I let me have this like, Johnny Silverhand. He's my favorite terrorist. Oh my god. Do you think people kin terrorists? Like do people kin Johnny Silverhand? Like, are there people with, like, blogs just being like, yeah, don't talk to me if you kin whatever the fuck? Like, do you guys know what kinning is? Because I know my audience varies in, like, how chronically online all of us are. Do you guys know what kinning is? Many people kin the Unabomber. People kin the Unabomber? What? Why? What? You can't do that! No! No! What? You can't kin the Unabomber? That's crazy! Let me do this. The Unabomber had a manifesto that some people agree with. Oh, that's fucked up. In 1993, Colombian drug lords detonated a nuclear... Yeah, that's what happened. Don't kin the Unabomber if you can't do graduate level mathematics. There's prerequisites to kidding now? Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, fuck. See, I feel like kidding now, like, not to be like, you know, back in my day, but like when I was on Tumblr, right, kidding was like more mentally ill than it is now. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like nowadays when people say, like, I kid this person, they just mean they really like this character. But back in my day, if you said you kinned, like, a character, A lot of people genuinely were like, no, I am this character. And if you disagree with me, kill yourself. Although, I guess there's still people like that now. But, like, people will say, like, IRL now or something like that. I get a lot of, like, TikToks on my For You page where I'm like, I don't know how the fuck I got here, you know? By the way, I'm just doing the domain quest because I have a shit ton of quests. And I'm like, you know what? I'm in, like, an area where everything's not, like, super far. So we're gonna do some other stuff. Oh, that's my other bike. Oh, well. Kidding was straight up fictional identity fraud. See, no, the weirdest thing I thought the other day, or I saw this a while ago, but it was like crazy to me, is there were people that kin VTubers. Like most of the time they're like popular VTubers, like Hololive or Niji, you know. Oh, thank you, Tat. But like, there are people that kin VTubers, right? So like hypothetically speaking, right? Thank you for the hydrate. I'm gonna do this while I'm driving. Hopefully nothing gets in my way. Okay, cool. But like, there were like, it's mostly like the big corpo VTubers, but there were some indie VTubers on there too, right? Oh wait, am I going straight? Oh, I didn't know that was straight. Whoopsie, I didn't see. Like, there were people kidding like Shy Lily, you know, and it got me thinking: if I ever become a big VTuber, will people kid me? I feel like if you kid me, you need to go to therapy. Like, extensively. And, like, not just a little therapy. You need, like, the fucking CBT. Oh, shit. Are you kinnable? I feel like I shouldn't be. No, actually, I'm gonna be real for a second. I feel like... I don't know. I don't think I'm kinnable person. How do I stop the car? Holster weapon. What? There we go. Exit. There we go. Okay. I feel like I'm kinnable if you're really gay and really mentally ill. Cause like, I feel like I don't think I should be a role model. Like, not to be a hater. I don't think anyone should look up to me ever. Like, not to be a hater towards myself. Hi, unknown. Apparently, there's people that kin VTubers, and if you kin EEBEE games, I think you're probably got something not right up there. But like, I don't think I should. Like, I'm not a good. I don't know. I think I'm like an okay person. I don't think I'm a bad person, but I don't think before I speak, and I'm just kind of like. I have no social skills, you know? So, like, I don't think I'm someone you want to aspire to be. I'm an anime girl on the internet. If you aspire to be me, please raise your standards. You're better than this. But anyway, we're going to talk to, I guess, what is this, Cunty Carfax? He does, like, he is serving. I don't know. He kind of looks like Jeffree Star with no wig. Is that, like... Maybe it's because he, like, doesn't have any soul behind his eyes.
Mind telling me why I'm here?
Yeah, why am I here?
Sir, madam, have incurred as a result of the incident.
The incident where my friend died.
Your identity has been confirmed.
There's no good time to join an EEBEE stream. You know, we haven't heard that in a while, but it does ring true. It does ring true. Or ring true.
Number 771111010.
What?
Actually, a little heartbroken.
Wait, is my name
about
Elaine?
Ride, but I'd rather
Why do
talk
I
to the
call
real
myself V?
Bellamy
Is
if I
her
can.
name fucking Elaine?
V. My apologies if the
Oh.
receptionist was a bother. I'm preoccupied with the crisis that
Looks
is
like if Jeffree started the Hitman's makeup. Honestly,
I've
yeah.
taken the liberty of
Yeah.
transferring a settlement to your account. To
I don't know.
compensate for the
I don't like support Jeffree Star because I think that. Oh, V for Valerie. That makes sense. Oh, it was the cover. Oh, that actually makes sense. I don't know. I think Jeffree Star is kind of a fuck. But like, he was one of those people where like I used to be really, I've talked about this before. I used to be really into beauty guru drama back in like the 2018, 2019, you know. And like, it was the other day where I was like, I wonder what the fuck Jeffree Star's up to now. Like, that's a name I haven't heard in a while. Like, no one really talks about him anymore. I looked it up. Motherfucker is selling yaks. He's just a yak farmer now. Like, he still sells makeup and shit, but he's just, I don't know. I feel like out of all the possible like routes, like story beats, like yak farmer was not. I did not expect yak farmer. But, you know, I guess, the moose-like animals. He literally sold all his shit in, like, LA, moved to fucking, middle of nowhere. I can't remember. Yeah, he bought a big-ass farm, and it's just, like, farming yaks. It's called, like, Star Yak Ranch or some shit. Look it up. And there's pictures of him in his Gucci tracksuit with a bunch of yaks. And he, like, names them. And, like, some of them, like, he still breeds them, but some of them he, like, names and keeps as pets. But, like, he's a yak farmer now. Which, like, when they say you can be anything, you know, shit, they mean that. Like, going from, like, beauty influencer to yak farmer is just, like, damn. Yeah, it's, like, it's such a, like, image, you know? That's like Yamaha. That's true, actually. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, we also make cars. We also make keyboards. We also make... Maybe that's what he's going for. You know, maybe this is just the start of, like, you have your Jeffree Star yak meat, your Jeffree Star makeup. Next thing you know, you're gonna have, like, your Jeffree Star fucking, you know, keyboards. Your Jeffree Star tampons. I don't fucking know. You know? The Glock Horse Performance Center. You're telling me this horse is a gun? Okay, what's going on? Jeffree Star robot car. I don't know. For some reason, the way my brain went when you, like, said that was I thought of a transformer, but it's like it doesn't look like a mech version of Jeffree Star. It's just actually Jeffree Star, and then he turns into a car, but like in a weird, fucked up way. How about a grand piano that floats your boat? What about an actual boat? You know what? I want to go to the Glock Horse Performance Center. Do the horses perform? Do the guns perform? What?
Okay, sure.
What is man's talking about? What are you yapping about? I haven't been paying attention. I was thinking about yaks. But yeah, that's the weird shit I get on my TikTok.
And return them to my garage.
See what I can do.
Delamain vehicles are exceptionally secure. Be sure to have a scanner with decryption capability on your person.
Beep. I have that. Okay. I guess I'll grab his thing. Where's the scanner? It's over here. There we go. Okay. CYBERPUNK 2077. Alright, well, I'm out of here. God, it is loud in here. Get me the fuck out. I don't like that. I'm sensitive. Okay. We're out of here. Hi, Rhodes. Welcome in, gamer. Can I have this car? This car looks cool as shit. Wait, the little droid has a face on it. Look. He's like, look. He's like, he has a little face. Look. Can I see? Hi. Wait, no, you're broken. Why is he broken? No. He's broken. Should I put him out of his... Okay, I can't draw my weapon. I was gonna suggest putting him out of his misery. I choked on air. Ew. Alright. We're out of there. Okay, this looks like a fucked up Jiffy Lube. I'm gonna be real with you. Okay, well, that happened. Reestablish connection between Delamain and his divergent forms. Wow, that's a phrase. That's a sentence. Michelin stars started out as a rating for the Michelin Tire Company's travel guides. Yeah, that makes sense. Whenever, I don't know. Is it Michelin or like Michelin? Because I was watching Chop today and someone pronounced it Michelin. And I had never heard it pronounced that before. Alright, let's see where I need to go. So, we'll see. I wish I could just see all of my shit at once. You know what I mean? But I guess not. I guess we'll see what's closest. Yeah, so it is Michelin, right? Wait, I'm commencing my reconnaissance. Where are you talking? I love him so much. I love this man so much. Look at him. Thanks for the heads up. Thanks for the... I must have pressed something by accident. These burners do not... I love him so much. One moment. Okay. There we go. There. Good job, Takamura. Arasaka Industrial Park. I will notify you when I am finished. Okay, sounds good. Have fun. Have fun. What? Hope our little hothead gets the job done. Good luck. Oh, this is from Rogue. Nash is dead. Congrats. Wonder what you were hoping to get out of that, because I don't think it was just a matter of wounded egos. Even wounded egos wouldn't do something that gonk, I just wanted to help a pretty lady. Dakota Smith. Drop by if you ever want to talk. Or if you don't want to talk, we can just sit together in silence. Either way, I'm here for you, sister. Who are you? I don't remember who that is. Why is everyone... Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. When did she call me? Because I called her at one point. She said the same thing. And then it was like the same... Like, I already talked to her. I thought I talked to her already. Did she call me again? Oh my god, why is everyone... Everyone wants me, bro. Cars for sale. If you want to look me up... Look... Wait, what? If you ever want to come size me up. What does he mean by that? I think they just wanted to distance themselves from the food such to... Oh, that makes sense. Okay. Who's Coach Fred? Fight night. What? Have some fun and make a little eddies in a single stroke. Huh? Oh, that was for Jackie. I did that forever ago. I don't know why I think I didn't know how my phone worked back then. Okay. Couple words. So, okay, that's if I want to beat people up. Sale. Want to hold a clearance? No. I don't care. Capitalism is a dish best served cold. Oh, okay. So, come and see me in my little parish when you... I think these are all from, like, the beginning of the game. So, I'm gonna just clear these out. There we go. Okay. Alright, so let's see what is the closest to me now. So wait a day for Tuckermurray to finish his reconnaissance, go to the chapel. We'll meet with the Elizabeth lady, I think. There's like 7 of these I need to do. I wish I could have multiple things going at the same time. I think that would be fun. Okay. So where's my car? I actually don't want my car anymore. I feel like maybe I'm just short. I couldn't see with the car very well. Like, I couldn't see, like, what was ahead of me. It was like the console of the car was too tall. I didn't like it. Okay, let's see. Hello. Look at my little bike. Whee! Okay, so let's turn around. Whee! Oh, shit. Wait, where are we going? Hold on. Oh, my gun's out. I didn't. Oh, okay. We don't need that out right now. We don't need... You can use... What's happening? No, I don't need my weapon out. Here, get on. Get on. I don't need my weapon out. You use car in third person or first person? Yeah, it's fun, right? You get all the good views, okay? I don't... For some reason, I think I tried it in third person once, and that made it worse. I also don't remember how to switch. Oh, wait, switch camera. It says it right there. Cute. Whee! Look at my butt. Oh, my God. That's toy. Hi, Vader. Welcome back, gamer. Is EB Games being adorable today? Well, I don't know if I'm being adorable, but I am going to be a felon. So, do with that info. Fuck! I got on the wrong... Okay, shit. Hold on. Let me just, squeeze past you real quick. Okay, thank you. I just need to squeeze past you real quick. Well. I missed. Hi, gamer. Downward corpse. Listen. I think I don't know where the fuck I am. I think I just... Did my bike explode? Did I explode my dead friend's bike? Because that's not good. Well, let's see. Can I have it back? Can I? Okay, there we go. Let's use this one instead from the girl I'm trying to woo. Stop talking to me. Everyone's talking to me. I'm trying to do something. Where's my fucking bike? There we go. Okay. I'm gonna try not to kill myself on accident this time. What is going on over there? God, I wish that were me. Okay, moving on. Let me find my bike. And let's try to not cause an accident again. Well, I think it's okay if we cause an accident. I just don't want to be a part of it. Right, where's my bike? Wait, what? Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought they were, like, fighting. I was like, what's going on? Am I still wanted for murder? Yeah. Looks like we're okay. Oh, wait, what's up?
V, how you doing, honey?
Hi.
Listen, got a golden opportunity for you.
Where's my bike?
Word on the streets that when Waco says golden, it's usually
everyone's talking to me today. I'm a little, like, overwhelmed.
Sticky situation.
I should probably put my gun away, but that's okay. What's the job?
So, what's the spec?
Caroline Jablonski.
Jablonski. That doesn't sound like a real last name. I'm
Murdered
sorry.
in cold blood, made waves of
Jablonski does not sound like a real last name. Okay.
There's a chance you
Alright.
can walk.
Here, I have to go back to first person mode because last time I went to the wrong mode, I caused a major car accident. Like more car accident than I usually do. So I've got my bonking stick out and I've got my first person car. Okay, we're not gonna miss the exit. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Let me just scooch past you real quick. Let me just. Okay, is it that one? No. Okay, it's the next one. God, I fucking hate roundabouts. Okay. In 2077, there's still fucking roundabouts. We haven't gotten through a better solution than the city skylines looking ass city. Okay, come here. Whee! Insulting the great Bill Jablonski. Who's Bill Jablonski? Is that a real person? Who is that? Okay, here we go. See? No one died this time. No one died this time. I'm lazy. Let me just, yeah. Perfect. Okay. All right. Let me off. Okay, there we go. Woo! Okay. Why do we gotta, like, we can't get rid of roundabouts? We can't. There's gotta be a better way. You're telling me I can have a cybernetically enhanced coochie, but we still have roundabouts? Fuck that noise. Okay. Hi. What's going on?
Are you V?
That's me.
Please,
Yes.
step in the vehicle.
Oh, I don't like that. Carter. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, even she. Normally I don't like V because she's like a cunt, but she's the way she
You've
just.
already spoken with Elizabeth.
Okay. Oh, hi. What's this job?
So, what do you got for me?
What's going on? Beep, beep,
Carter,
beep, boop.
let's go.
Straight to the matter at hand, huh?
Yeah, what's going on? Yeah, actually, I don't fucking know these people. I don't give a fuck about small talk. What is up?
My time's pretty valuable. Pretty sure yours is too?
Like, I'm with her on that one. I don't know these people.
Elizabeth?
Well, as you're probably aware, Mayor Lucius Rhine recently passed.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We want to know how. Why?
For a split
Whatever else
second,
is
like, I literally thought, I'm like, did I do that? The medium is something?
It was all over the news.
Hiring a driver in the age of
course it was.
Delamain, rich. Yeah, they're
Media
rich.
feasted for weeks.
Do you have a
Pieces like
USB?
that
I
are
need
their
to charge my
lifeblood.
phone.
Right. Think they missed something?
We have reason to believe they did. Yes.
Case is
As
closed,
far as
though.
I know, case is closed already.
It is. Of course, the police wrote it off as natural causes. Rhine passed at home due to a cardio implant malfunction.
But we're left wondering about the cyber psycho attack.
They hacked his heart.
The police say it was completely unrelated.
Hacker man. What makes you think the cops? Yeah, am I about to do election fraud?
These
Am I being
suspicions of
gerrymandered?
yours wouldn't have anything to do
I don't
with
think that's
the
what that
upcoming
means.
elections, would they?
There's a different word I'm looking for. It's not that one.
We want to know. Need to know.
Fuck. What makes you think the cops got it wrong?
What makes you think the cops got him wrong? Got any evidence?
Thank you, Vader. I
Shortly
appreciate
before
you.
Rhine passed, he made cuts
I'm so
in the
glad you
NCPD
guys
budget.
appreciate my
Perhaps got on
content,
someone's
even if I
bad
don't know
side
what
that way.
gerrymandering
In any
is.
case, we have the cyber psycho attack on a beat.
Someone hacking a cyber dick.
Our chief of
My
security
cock's
scanned
been
it, but didn't
hacked.
find anything out of the ordinary, so to speak.
How would that
We need a
work?
brain dance
Like,
edit,
how would
a
you-
real one. It's raw footage.
The brain
Could you
dance.
just make it blow up?
It has to
Like,
be back where it belongs today.
like just
Or
make
a
it
lot of people
explode?
will be in a
Like,
lot of trouble. If
I feel like you
agree
could.
to help,
Suspected
you can see it
organized
right now.
crime activity? What? They still got gerrymandering. Listen, they
Alright.
can't have shit in
that
Night
again.
City.
Excellent.
Excellent.
We'd be happy with any find that would clarify things. Alleviate
What is this?
lingering doubts.
What are we doing? Whoa. Oh god, I hate this. No, I'm blue. Oh, I'm white. I'm bright. What is going on here? What's the tea? What's the skinny? That's the one thing I don't like about this game is sometimes I'll just be like, ah, and I'm blinded. Oh, fuck. White man jump scare.
What do we got here?
Question is, what are you doing?
Yeah, what? How are you here?
My brain too, isn't it?
Yeah, he kind of
And
looks
this
like.
time, don't go scrolling
Human
every ass you
Shrek.
see. Eyes on the mayor.
Do you remember
Stuff
Human
belongs to
Shrek?
City Hall.
Why does he
Let's
look
make
like
it
Human
PG.
Shrek? That jaw is crazy. Damn. What is going on? okay. I always like to watch it. Bruce on a mew streak. I still don't know what mewing is, and at this point, I'm too afraid to ask. I always like to watch it first before I like go into my hacker man mode.
Hold it. Stop right there.
He just walked through. What was that?
Slow your roll.
River Ward, NCPD.
Oh.
Let him in.
It's important. Gotta speak to the mayor's chief of security.
Preem, do it
Mewing
after
is
the
when
conference.
you say mew, 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 I think. You know, that's actually real as fuck. Sometimes you just have to meow, and that... What? Wow! Why would you do that? What the fuck is that? What? Wait, there's a romanceable character here? Is this the cop? Okay, we'll have to see how hot he is. Oh wait, is it that guy? Can I say something controversial? He kind of looks like that guy from The Walking Dead that cucked the main character. What was his name? Shane? He looks like Shane from The Walking Dead. I'm sorry, like...
And this time,
That's what I'm
scroll
seeing.
the
Right.
action.
I haven't seen him up
Eyes on
close.
the mayor.
Right, but that's what he
Stuff
looks
belongs
like.
to City Hall.
Okay, let
Let's
me
make
get to
it
the
PG.
thingy. Alright, let's see. Okay, editing mode. Alright, well, what's going on? Who is this guy?
He's the Hulk guy.
No idea.
Weldon
Those ass
Holt.
clowns are all
I'm a better father than you, Rick. That's what he looks like. We need to get... I need to see this man's face in HD to see if he will cuck. That's how you know. Okay, how do I change layers? I don't remember. Rick Cucker. I don't remember, like, jack shit fuck all about The Walking Dead. I used to watch it a lot, but all I remember is just fucking Coral. That's all I remember. What's going on here?
what this blitz is for.
What?
That's why I'm mayor and you're not.
Woo!
Now's when
Woo!
we need the visibility. You're spreading yourself too thin. I'll rest
Coral,
tonight.
no.
My room at the Red Queen's race is ready.
My room.
Yes,
Ooh.
of course. Good. Now go. Gotta practice.
Okay.
Queen's race.
What is that?
Sure, a bunch of old Brit farts in powdered wigs shouting, off with their heads.
I love Johnny Silverhand so much. Listen, before I knew what this game like was, before I knew the concept, I was genuinely upset I couldn't fuck Keanu Reeves. And I'll be honest, now that I know the context, I'm still a little upset I can't fuck Keanu Reeves. Gonna be honest with you. Where is it? What's going on? Huh? What? Oh shit! Who are you? What's going on? Let me see into your brain. Well, not let me. Scanning. Did it scan? Did it scan? I don't know if it did that or not. Let me go back. Hold on. Rewind. Rewind. Okay. Forged in father. Will it cuck? No. No. Hi, JK. I ended the stream and we're talking about doing Keanu Reeves. Well, now we're talking about cucking. There's no good time. What do we say? Yeah, did I get? Okay, here. Stop moving. Stop. I'm trying to.
Tune.
Okay, there we go.
Recognize it.
Tune.
The biggest 2077 mod was to fuck. Can you? Wait, there's a mod for it?
He's really
Can someone link it to a mod? I don't allow links in my chat, but can someone put that in the Discord? I want the mod. Give me the mod. I want to fuck Keanu Reeves. Let me have this. Okay, shift. There we go. Dead guy.
cloned half the city with what he was packing.
Damn, okay.
Probably what
Doesn't
happened.
just change it.
Body
Oh, that's
disappeared from the
stupid.
wall, sight unseen.
That's dumb. I want to
then
fuck
some kid got
actual.
himself a new
No.
set of wheels
I don't want the
and now
fake
they have
shit.
suit.
What Keanu commented on it as well. What'd he say?
Or just talking out your ass again.
I mean, to be fair,
Once you've
in the
seen all
game,
I've
he
seen,
does
you don't
comment
need
on
to
his
know
magnificent
no.
cock.
People are
Like-
the same everywhere.
Is he just compensating or is he for real? We need to know for science. He was cool with it. See, that's the thing. Like, low-key, I don't know. I had someone ask me this because I'm hoping that we can get the EEBEE follower mod for Skyrim out once I debut my Skyrim model in June. And, like, the realization I've made, right, is if I make a follower of myself for Skyrim, right, people are gonna fuck it, you know? And I'm content with that, you know? I can't control what other people on the internet do. Do what you want. Just like put like a crisp apple pie in my inventory or something afterwards. That's all I ask, you know. Just be a homie about it, you know. Like, just be a homie. If it's in Tamriel, it's good. Like, yeah, like it's like it is what. Like I don't have particularly strong feelings for it. Just it is what it is, you know. And like same thing with like NSFW art. Like if you want to draw porn of me, I don't really give a fuck as long as it's not like weird. Like as long as it's not like me, like I don't know. As long as it's not like gross, you know what I mean? But like if it's like regular porn, then that's fine, you know. But yeah. All right, let me see. What's going on over here? What's going on?
They left literally seconds before the attack.
Damn.
Looks planned.
That's a little sassy. If I do say so myself.
Saw his chance and took it. Don't get paranoid on me.
Okay. Well, that's that, I guess. That's that on that. Okay. Let me out.
Stop right there.
Whoa. I hate the brightness, dude. I fucking hate that shit. Whee. Come on. Come on. Come on. Okay, there we go. So that was whack. That was crazy. Wait, what?
You're here. Fantastic.
What happened? That was a long time. What happened?
So, any thoughts? Did you see anything suspicious? Anything at all? Or are we paranoid?
I mean, when I saw this guy get stabbed, you know what? I think you might be onto something. I do not know.
Worse than Coronado Bay in July.
Oh damn. That's a lot more. That's a lot more confirming than what like you might be onto something. Sounds like. Who's the cop?
Cop who saved Ryan. Know anything about him?
Detective River Ward. Good guy. We worked a few cases together.
Get out of the fight
You want
car.
to talk to him? I'll put you
Such
in
a
touch.
bougie car, dude. Who's got access?
Anyone else besides Ryan's detail have access to the terminal?
NCPD. That's it.
I'll call Ward.
Sheesh. Ward had great timing.
Why are you on your phone?
Peter has crazy good
We're having
luck, but had a
conversation.
source. Got good info.
All women do
I'm
is
gonna
be
need some of
bisexual,
each.
be on their phone, eat hot
Well
chip, and
said.
lie.
Sending you his deets.
Listen, I may be
Need
bisexual,
anything
lie, and
else,
eat hot
let us
chip,
know.
but at least I'm not
We'll
on my
help.
phone like that. I'm playing video games. Alright, so I'm gonna run an ad real quick just so it doesn't interrupt the shit. We'll be back in literally 1 minute, just because if I don't run an ad break, Twitch will make me run an ad break unprompted. And I don't want it to interrupt anything. So I'm gonna put on my BRB screen. Beep. And we will be right back. Oh, let me turn my little yeah, you can jam out to some tunes while you're waiting. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, there we go. Now Twitch can get off my dick and not run an ad while I'm gaming. Okay, thank you. There we go. Okay, Jefferson. Wait, what? Oh, okay. Well, I guess we'll call Ward. Wait, what? Oh, Takamura's calling me. What's up?
My reconnaissance is complete.
Oh, damn.
It worked. I can hear it in your voice.
Everything is ready.
Parade time!
I am sending
Yippee!
you coordinates. Join me as quickly as you can.
Okay, we'll join him. I'll call Ward while we're on the way. Oh wait, Delamain, what do you want?
Currently at the exact location where I lost
I
contact
am?
with the car.
Fine. Have a look around.
What? Okay, anyway. Let me call the one guy. And then we'll, who was I supposed to call? What's his name? How do I see my contacts? There we go. It was, oh my god, what was his name? I literally forgot. It was called Ward, right? Yeah. We'll call him, and I'll get my car.
This is Ward.
Hi. Ignore this. Okay, here we go.
Who am I talking to?
Name's V. Looking into the death of one Lucius Ryan.
There it is!
Wonder why.
How do I see the little car just... conducting an investigation.
I'm conducting a private investigation into this matter.
Good luck with that. And do me a favor, lose this number. I like PIs about as much as I like the Scopping Caliente.
I'm no private eye.
Let me get on.
So what are you?
I'm V.
You'll find out.
Aha!
Alright. I'm headed to Chubby Buffaloes.
Chubby Buffaloes?
Peter, stop.
I want to go to Chubby Buffaloes. Hell yeah! Alright. Let's go. See? See? Look, the light's gonna turn green. See? Traffic bends to my will. Okay? See? Green. Watch out. Bam bam! Alright. Alright, well, congratulations on your watch stream. Thank you, gamer, for coming to all my streams. I appreciate it. Alright, let me just scooch past you real quick. 124. Rookie numbers. Go higher. Rookie numbers. Okay, let's see. I need to make sure I don't, like, lose my turn. There we go. Okay, I'm on the right one. Whee! Okay, there we go. Da, da, da. Wait! Okay, that was close. But that's okay. That's okay. Close calls happen. It's all... Oh, wait, I have a turn coming. Okay. Wow! Shit! 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 It's fine. Okay. Where's my turn? Here, we'll just go on the sidewalk. It'll be faster. And if we kill civilians, we get extra... What? 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 Where'd the road go? Am I high? Am I high? Oh, shit. I was just so fast. I outsped the road. Okay? Alright, here we go. The road's right in front. I panicked. Dude, I was doing good and then I panicked. Okay, where's my turn? Whee! We'll just kind of let this ride. Whee! Okay, I think it's the next one. Whee! Okay, there we go. And turn here. What? Not like that. Not that hard. Okay. Turn there. Turn there. An insured driver? I am an insured driver. I have great insurance. Okay? Alright. There we go. Whee! Okay, we're doing good. What do you want? Wait, T to answer, T to... Oh. Okay. It was T to answer or T to reject, so I'm like, okay. We'll let fate decide. Alright. Where's my friend? Boop. Okay, there we go.
Do have a look around the area.
Shut up, Delamain!
Contact with the Delamain network vehicle nearby.
I'll do it later. Oh,
Will do.
lagged for a second. Okay. Alright, what's poppin'?
Excellent timing.
Yay!
How'd your recon go?
I believe I have collected enough to try.
Because
The
I
complex
do.
is
Hell
well
yeah.
guarded, but we should manage. The floats stand in the main warehouse. Your task is simple: to get inside.
I can do that.
How?
The more quiet, the better. But you are the thief. I will not question your skills.
Thanks.
Once there, you must locate the largest platform and infect its system.
Where are you gonna be?
I will create a diversion. They should not discover our intentions. Do you know what Arasaka despises the most, confuses them? When communication fails, when they cannot talk to each other, they are first to cry. Sabotage. 混乱するな. I'll be in touch.
Okay. Alright. Let's see. So where am I breaking into? Okay. How far is that? Oh, it's only 80 meters. I don't need to get back on my... I can walk... No, I want to get back on my bike. It's like, I don't need to use my bike for just 80 meters. But I want to, because it's fun. Whee! Oh. Okay, I guess I'm not allowed to do that. Okay. Anyway, we'll walk there, I guess. Why can't I... Why did someone ask me why I'm making breakfast tonight? Listen, sometimes you gotta have breakfast for dinner. Breakfast is breakfast at any time you want, really. If you want to have breakfast at 6 p.m., who cares? Oh, whoopsie. Oh, I have to break in. What if I use... my charming wit and personality and just convince them? Like, how do I break in? Do I just... Afternoon? Yeah, I don't want to fuck with that mech-looking thing over there. Let's see what else is around here. Hi. Is there anyone close to you? There's a camera there. Well, they'll see me fuck with the camera if I'm, like, over there. It's a pretty tall wall, too. Let's see. Can I sneak into a cargo container? No, that's not gonna do me any good. Let's see. Okay, maybe. Just maybe. Lift blockade. I don't know. That's the thing is, can I cause a distraction? Like with that? Or, oh, this is a fast travel point. Hold up. Let me get this before I forget. Okay, hold up. I would like to cause a distraction. There we go. I just want to make sure I have that one. Available quick hack. Distract enemies? Let's do that. And then I can get in through this way, maybe? Oh. You're not distracted. I thought you would be distracted. Wonderful day we're having. Dude, it's wiggly. Look how wiggly. I'm gonna save before I do this because I'm like, can I kill just one guy and get away with it? Like, I know it's broad daylight, but like, what if I'm cool about it? Got my bonking stick. And my cute gun. And this thing. Yeah, because if I kill him now, everyone's gonna see. What if I just passing through?
I'm in.
Oh my god, okay, Nope. It almost worked. It almost worked. There we go. Okay, oh fuck. I knew it was too good to be true. I was like, there's no way they're gonna just let me, like, walk in, right? What the fuck is that? Okay, don't like that fucking diva Overwatch looking ass. Okay. Okay, I need to find cover and reload. Fuck, okay. Oh, I don't have any heavy ammo. Shit, okay. Well, we got the bonking stick. I have my baby gun for babies. There we go. Okay. Turn this off. Oh, it's blocked. Shit. Okay. I need... It's broken. Shit. I don't want anything that's broken. Okay, give me this. Okay. Yeah, this is not good. Not to be negative. But I don't think this is good. Does this still not have ammo? Okay, now we have some more ammo. Linda! Okay. Where's the big boy? Ah, shit. Is there another way I can... What's that? I don't know what that is. I guess I could, like... do one of these moves? And just, like, sneak over. Am I skinny? Okay, I'm not skinny enough to get through here. Let's see. Maybe, okay, you know, I was gonna say, I'm like, maybe if I just wait it out. But I don't think that's gonna be the answer. Can I have the high ground, Anakin? Okay, I guess not. Okay, there's that thing. Blocked. Shit. Okay. There's the mech. Okay. Are they gonna come up to me, or is they just like mech silly time? I don't want to go up there until I kill the mech. I'm gonna be real with you guys. Oh shit. Someone behind me? No, why aren't they? Oh. Someone needs a bonking. Bonk, 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 bonk. Bonk. Get out of here. Okay, you know what? Don't try to come up behind me. Be patient with me. I'm gonna kill this mech at my own pace, at my own time. I need to feel comfortable before I do terrorism. I don't feel ready to do terrorism. I'm a little stressed out right now because my plan didn't work, and I have autism. And when plans are changed, I get really upset about it. This is like when I go to McDonald's and I want to get chicken nuggets and then they don't have chicken nuggets and then I shit my pants. You have not, you know, you're probably right. What if I use my bonking stick? How much power does sheer determination wield? Come on! Almost! Back! What? The game crashed. The game crashed! Am I not allowed to go beat the shit out of a mech with my bare hands? What? You know, they just don't want creative problems to have creative solutions. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. I expect this was Skyrim, but not Cyberpunk that has one mod so I can be gay. This is crazy. This is crazy. Okay, let's try this again. Oh my god. It crashed. I'm not fucking over that. It crashed. They silenced me. They just don't want to see a bad bitch winning, you know? That's all it is. They just don't want to see a bad bitch winning. Maybe because you're streaming? Maybe. I'm just like, my PC can handle like 800 Skyrim mods. Yeah, it was fine last stream. I can't blame Todd Howard this time. Well, I'm still gonna blame Todd Howard. They're pushing another Skyrim update, by the way. Fuck Todd Howard. But like, the corpse silenced us. This is so fucked. All right. How do I actually sneak in here? That's the question. Because I've played Payday 2 before, right? I wasn't good at Payday 2, but I know how sneaking kind of works, right? Where is my in? Right? That's what I gotta figure out. I need to case the place better and figure out where the hell I'm going. Okay?
Say, did y'all lose power yesterday too?
No.
Yeah, when the lights went out, there I was cooking dinner. Oh, well, if we're getting specific, I was nuking a half-eaten burrito I found wedged in my couch cushion.
Girl, what the fuck?
Yeah, I know I shouldn't have.
Why is she acting like she's quirky for that?
All the nutrients.
That's not quirky.
Kills the cockroaches
That's
too,
disgusting.
So, you win some, you lose some.
Ruth, you're a fucking freak.
Anyway, what was I? Right, the power outage. Apparently some plant out in Santos short.
Oh, I did that.
EMPs were knocking
so stealth is an option in Payday 2. It wasn't an option I chose very often, but it was there. You know, it was there. Yeah, Ruth's a fucking freak. Goddamn. Okay. Alright. Hi. So, okay. We need to find another solution. Because we cannot walk in guns blazing. Okay? We can't do that. How? Barrier. What does that mean? I genuinely don't know what to do here. Genuinely. Because there's these big ass walls. There's gotta be an in somewhere. Am I expected to just sneak past those security guards? Here, we might be able to jump. Ah! Hey, what's this door? I can't open that door, but this might be a solution. Come here. Is there a way I can get through there? Bro, I need a grappling hook. That's what I need. a grappling hook. Have you got blind hacks? I don't think I do. No. I'm wondering if I can, like... Let's see. And there's still that guy over there. And then... Over there was where that ladder was. Because I did see that ladder. Then there's this. Wondering... If I stand on top of the barrier and it shoots up, will it catapult me across? I'm ready. Whee! Like... Could that work? If I position myself in the right spot? Would that work? I can't climb on top of these. Oh! I have an idea. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Excuse me, ladies. Can I climb up here? Like. Oh, shit. Okay. Let's look around over here. So I'm wondering if I can get onto this bridge over here. Here we go. If I go up here, god damn it, it's a door. Okay. Go visit Ripper Dog? Yeah, I should probably do that. Can I climb in through the wait, here's a ladder. Hold on. This is where I came from though, isn't it? Yeah. Anything down this way, like further? There's gotta be a way up there that's not me just going in guns blazing. In fact, feels like going in guns blazing is not what the game wants me to do. But the game needs to understand that I'm a little stupid. We'll go around the fence. Here we go. So, if we go... There it is. In the future, everything is chrome. Can I... got stuck in a hole for a second. Can I, like, just climb up this? There we go. Thank you. Oh! Anyone in here? We're not getting in there. Hi, Lara! Welcome in, gamer! According to everyone's favorite mommy milkers rock star, Mini Cooper is classified as an SUV. I buy it. I buy it. Yeah, we can't get in through the windows. Stealing the van might be our best bet. Genuinely. Might be the easiest way to go about things. Is there a way we can get through there underground, I'm wondering? There's a bunch of people down there. So I don't know. What's this van? Oh, this is a crime scene. So I guess I can't borrow that. How do I turn it on? Turn it on. Guess not. We can find a van. Let me fast travel back to... Oh no, I can't fast travel. Fuck. Can I borrow this? Thank you.
Domingo, a crime has been reported.
Okay.
Roger, dispatch.
I need to find a different car to steal, but this will be the car I steal in the interim. Wait, will this work? What's that? What if... Is it F5 to save? I can't save right now. Are you for real? Alright, I've got one more idea. And if this doesn't work, I don't know. We'll have to steal the Arasaka van specifically. But if this doesn't work... Hi! Okay, I've got an idea. Let me in! Let me in! Okay, okay, alright. Exit! Okay. Find cover. Fuck! runner. She's a track star. Is she gonna run away when it gets hard?
By the largest floor, they are controlled from inside. That tech, it could be an ordinary
Still snipers out. Okay. Weapon glitch? Alright, we'll use a different one. Oh, fuck. I can't get through the door. Nice going, smart one. You can't shoot me. You hacked the door.
When you finish, I'll make the
That shouldn't have worked, by the way. I used technical. How do I get through the door? Can I? They locked me the fuck in. Can you believe that? Okay, we might have to find a different way then. Can I break this? There we go. All right. You're gonna have to make a break for it. All right, let me out. Okay. All right. Woo! Holy shit, he's fast as fuck. Okay. Bonking stick time. Oh, that works too. That's not my stick, but it also works. Oh shit, I can't see. Ah, ah, ah. Okay. We're cruising. All right. Where's my stick? There we go. You look skinny and breedable. Have a taste of my bonk. Okay. Hey, this is working. This shouldn't have worked. Wait, is this it? Why is this working? This should not have worked. Oh, failed. Fuck. Okay.
It's ours to do with as we please.
Ooh, yummy.
You can fly to Tokyo if you want.
I just may do that. Good work.
How did this work?
It is my turn. Can you see? Turbo chaos. Even the room is slowly.
Oh, I need to get out of here, don't I?
That is your will. There are buildings around. Smaller ones. Use them to come down.
Okay. Oh, Mirror's Edge has prepared me for this. Ah. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Ah! That's not. No, the roof. The roof. I need the roof. Raise the roof. Raise the roof. No, I need the roof. You're not the roof. Get out of here, you stupid twig. Okay. Okay. Hi, Buzz. And yes, I did say that. I was playing Kid Pics. You didn't hallucinate that. It's on my TikTok. You're right. No! Get me up. Get me up. This one. This one. Holy guacamole, this is stressful. No, don't fall. Don't stop shooting me. I'm just a little guy. I know I killed like 18 of you, but I'm really just a little guy. Okay. Okay. Alright.
Fucking worked.
Me too, me.
Okay, what now?
And arm ourselves with patience. I will contact you before the parade.
Can I have my car? Actually, I would kind of like to get the fuck out of here. I'm gonna be real with you. Let me,
As if I wasn't in enough
Where's
already.
my car? Where's my car? Where's my car? There's my getaway vehicle. Okay. Go to the chapel. Yeah, I need to pray after that one. That was... that should not have worked. That literally should not have worked. But it did, so... Is my PC on fire right now? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this bad boy's warm. Like... But... It worked. It worked, so I can't complain. And I still got my bonking stick. So, you know, it all works. Alright, let's see. Let me just make my turn right here. 16 street cred. Fuck yeah. Okay. I'm so cool and fun and sexy. I think everyone should love me forever. Okay, here we go. Alright, where is the chapel even? That was cool. I genuinely don't know why that worked. I don't know how I did that. I think I was possessed by something. Or someone. I don't know. Alright, let me get my turn. Is this my turn? I think so. Whoop. Oh wait, no, it's this one. Okay, there we go. Okay. Oh wait, no, this wasn't my turn. Oh, whoopsie. Okay, let me go back around real quick and just do a little U-turn. Yeah, U-turn. There we go. Okay, U-turn. There we go. Okay. There we go. All good. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Okay, and then do I take an exit ramp off here? It's like a slight turn up ahead. Oh, yeah. Okay, we'll do that. Here we go. I think I'm supposed to be in the other one, but that's okay. We'll just, swoop, do a little cut across. There we go. I'm busy. I wait for no one. Okay. Mr. Hands.
Welcome to Pacifica.
Hi.
Quick on the dial. Just got here.
That's the biz.
Where's the chat? Is it down there? I think I see it. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Let me just, yeah. That should work. Like the Boeing engineer. Listen. I'm so good at my job, the doors of the plane will open for you. Mid-flight. We're calling it a new customer experience. Everyone, you know, they say flying's boring now. That's what I bet they sound like in their shareholder meeting. Let's turn this into a net positive. Did y'all hear about that though? The fucking Alaska Airlines, the door ripping off? Oh my god. Delman, I don't care right now. I'm busy. I'm going to church. I'm becoming a new woman. I'll be a good Christian girl. Let me in. What the fuck am I looking at? You know, I was gonna say I've never seen a church like this before, but I have been to a mega church. So that's not entirely true. I have seen a mega church that kind of looks like this. Who are you?
You are V? We have been waiting.
Oh, hey. You my contact?
You my contact? Someone finally gonna tell me about this job?
Maybe.
I'm just a man in the middle. You will learn more. Soon.
Wanna talk with Brigitte? She here somewhere?
No. Shopping center by the intersection. Go to the butcher shop there.
Okay.
Ask for Placide. He will tell you the details.
Okay. Well, that was a out-of-body experience. That yeah, interesting. Okay. So what's on the agenda? So okay. Pursue other leads while waiting for Takamura to get ready. Since I obviously wasn't invited to... Oh, excuse me. Since I obviously wasn't invited to Saburo Arasaka's funeral, I guess this sad low parade will have to do. Just missing confetti. But in all seriousness, Takamura must have a death wish. She's going to jump onto Hanako's platform. Be my fucking guest. We'll deal with the snipers. Meanwhile, keep an eye out for an escape route. This is going to go all kinds of wrong. I can feel it. Okay. We'll meet with him later. 79 meters. That's not far. I guess we'll just head to the butcher shop now, then. This is about the thing with Brigitte. I think I remember what this is. This is the thing with Evelyn and stuff. Yeah, this is what Judy asked me about. Can I just parkour my way over here? Parkour! Yeah! Okay. Alright, butcher shop. Butcher? I barely know her. Okay. Is this the butcher shop? Is this the butcher shop? The butcher... Yeah, the butcher shop. Okay. Hi! Looking for Placide.
Looking for Placide.
Placide.
Placide. Gardez ici, là.
Look into the camera. Hi!
C'est vous-même. Continuez. Placide, gardez là.
Alright, let's go. Ooh, this is cool as shit. You guys don't have a lot of meat for sale, though. I don't think that's good for business. Oh, this is a front. Oh, fuck. I'm dying. Oh, shit. Not my relic. Oh, God. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Okay. Oh, one. Can I animate it, too? Can I use it as a soundboard clip? Absolutely. Sorry, I don't know how I missed that message, but absolutely, Puddles. If you animated it, I think I would cry tears of literal joy. Thank you for asking me about that, though, and liking my audio. I'm glad you like it. But thank you, gamer. I want to talk to your boss.
Want to talk to your boss?
What are you butchering? What's this? Can I have one? I'm hungry. Oh, you're butchering a chicken. Okay, so they are butchering. It's not a front. I was told to talk to you.
Told me at the chapel you're the one to talk to. Mr. Hands sent me.
He looks really badass.
Needs doing.
Ooh.
No here.
Where'd he put that chicken? He like cut out that chicken's head and then just like it just disappeared. Where'd it go? Huh? Where are we headed?
This way.
Okay. What? Should we be concerned about
Pacifica.
that? Guy shooting at the sky? No? Okay.
You know Pacifica well?
No.
You guys aren't exactly great at rolling out the welcome mat for outsiders.
Was to be its own city where suits would burn their headies. A closed circle. The cops feed the sheep, they spit the cash back out. All the toys here are grown from Popo cash. Our interest is now in the GIM, the Grand Imperial.
What's
Mall.
going on over there?
Pacifica's biggest, ugliest temple to greed.
Ah.
Never finished. Until last
Yeah, what are they
week,
doing
it
over
was
there? Like,
deserted.
this is
Empty.
cool and all, but what's going on over there?
Animals crawled there, made a nest.
Oh. Like wasps? Fuck wasps, by the way. Bees are good and all, but fuck wasps. Ooh, can I buy drugs over there? I like drugs. Let me see. Yeah, Voodoo Boys. This music fucks, by the way. Alright, what's going on? Oh, that's the chicken piranha. Oh. I didn't realize you were still going. I was like, what? Popular guy. She's pretty. Where are we going?
You deal with animal before?
Yeah.
Yeah?
A few times.
Are you being like
You
literal?
want the animals out of the
Like, is that
chain?
like a metaphor, or is there
Extinct?
gonna be like a fucking
That why
jaguar
you
up
hired
there?
me?
You learn everything soon.
Because I would not be surprised if I had to fight like a literal saber cat or some shit.
I mean, it makes no sense them being here. Middle of Pacifica, no backup, cut off. It's your turn.
He started running. I wasn't ready for that.
Badges don't patrol around here.
The gang.
They're trying to provoke you, make you do something stupid.
They do not leave GIM.
How many we talking about in there?
30, maybe more. Vinina, we talk here.
Okay.
You sit.
Okay, I sit.
When do I see Brigitte?
You do job. That is first.
Okay, whatever you say, bro. Whoa, what?
What the hell?
What are you
Tell
doing?
me what you plan to do first.
You take job. You do what I say. So you jack in now.
Fine.
Damn
But
it.
just like
Here goes
tell
nothing.
me before you grab my arm, start yanking at my wires and shit.
Well, at least he's not likely to talk your ears bloody.
You got a good point. Evelyn.
Evelyn Parker. Ring a bell?
Not one of us.
She did work for you once. Why not send your own goons to the gym?
It is a
It's
very
not
cool
all
desk. Oh, med tech. Oh,
How's
boy.
that been working out for you?
Work good, good more than bad. Your comb shaman, it is Victor.
Victor? Oh, Kina! Welcome in, gamers! Hello! Welcome. Hello! My name is EEBEE Games. I love beautiful women, big guns, and
Gaslight, keep
I don't know. Gamer Roto, thank you so much for the follow. You don't guess I can't keep growing up. Thank you for the shout out for Keena. Keena's one of my voice students, and I'm her voice teacher. So if you think this is gonna be like a normal stream, it's not. I swear a lot. And I look at big boobs a lot. So if you're not 18, thank you for being here. But I will have to ask you to Blue Skidoo Weekend too, because this is an 18 plus space, unfortunately. But welcome. We're not looking at big boobs right now. We're jacking. Like jacking in. See my wires in there, not jacking off. So, you know, just crucial difference
What
there.
do I do?
But I was trying to get a girlfriend, but now I'm doing terrorism. So we lost the plot a little bit, but that's okay. I stole the car and then crashed it into a corporate thing, and it worked. I don't know how. Damn, I think it's so much of the fun. You're not guessing, girl boss. Who is this hot man working at the computer? He's pussy. Okay, why is Keanu Reeves in the background? Because he's possessing me, but not in a sexy way. In a really annoying way. He's like the plot of this game, essentially, and I'm still kind of like getting the plot. Is Keanu Reeves is implanted in your brain, but Keanu Reeves also like died like 10 years ago, so his soul's like trying to take over your body through like this microchip thing. It's kind of fucking wild. But one of my friends was like, oh, her heart rate's dipping again. Does someone need your help?
Time for a break. I think you might be.
What's Keanu Reeves doing?
They will manage fine.
Oh, okay.
You focus.
Okay. Animals aren't the focus, are they? We still don't know if animals are like actual legit animals, or if it's like I don't want, what is it, like metaphor or like something for like another gang or something. I don't know. So I could be going in to kill people, and I could be killing like a fucking giraffe. I don't know. What's Keanu Reeves doing? I don't know. Jacking off probably. I literally, like unprompted, he talked about his big dick at one time, and I was just like, damn, that's crazy. Hi, Boston. Welcome, big gamer.
I will guide you through GIM.
Okay.
Another voice in your head. Just what the Ripper Doc ordered.
Who's the runner?
We know who the runner inside is. What he wants.
This I hope you tell me.
Okay.
So, aim to keep an eye on me.
But I'm working for this guy to get information for one of my friends who got done real dirty, essentially.
Find out people near more.
That's the TL. Alright, I'm jacking out.
Got it. So I do this, and you put me in front of Brigitte.
Brigitte's the person I need to talk to, so I'm doing him a favor, so I can talk to
him. The hall. Go down. My people will let you pass.
Okay. Do I whip my gun out?
We are done.
Oh, okay. I guess I'll leave.
So, voodoo boys. Why? Don't seem to believe in voodoo.
Don't know. Ask those who call us this.
Mean to say you call yourself?
Only content I have of Cyberpunk is Edge Runners in the trailer / clips. I haven't watched Edge Runners.
You ain't gonna tell me, are ya?
I haven't watched Edge Runners, and this is my first, this is literally my first playthrough. I went in completely blind. I am starting to play a Cyberpunk Red, tabletop campaign. So I've got to learn a little bit more about the world through that. We did talk about how they retconned 9/11 and did another 9/11.
All ears.
What? It's kind of like an alternate history thing. But it's very interesting. There's a lot going on. Yeah, they retconned Cola. Can you post the lore again? Because it's really funny. they basically, I think the timeline diverges in the 80s or the 90s or something. And then this one gang blows up New York. I literally at first I was kind of memeing about it. Jolly, thank you for the hydrate. Conveniently, it was 2023. Yeah, but I was reading about it, and I was kind of skimming through the book just to see what was up, you know, because I was looking for something for my character sheet, and literally, that part of the book read the title on the top was "When the Towers Fell," and I was like, huh? What? Time to party like it's 2023. Hell yeah. So am I not in the right spot in the elevator? Let me go to the guest rooms. Maybe I fucked up. I am directionally challenged. I will get lost a lot. I apologize in advance. There's a lot of 9/11 parallel events in Cyberpunk lore. See, that's the thing, is it's kind of like a 9/11, but I don't know what day it happened. Did it happen on 9/11? Is it 9/11 too, or is it 10/12 or something? I don't know. Look at the book when I go to the game shop. Yeah, it's honestly here's the thing, is even if you okay, it is down here. It was low-key, even though I'm not the DM, right, it was really fun to read through. I've been enjoying reading through, the lore, stuff about the companies, the people. That's the thing, is Cyberpunk Red and Cyberpunk 2077 aren't exactly the same timeline, but they're pretty close. So you still get to hear stuff about, the main antagonists and stuff like that. So, I guess I'll go this way? Yeah. Okay. Wait, how far is it? 550 meters. Okay, I don't need my bike then. Okay, so go up here and then around. I'm very bad at directions, but that's okay. Okay, let's see. I could go buy some drugs, but I don't know if I want to do that right now. All I did last time when presented with the opportunity to do illegal shit was fuck a prostitute. And I haven't tried doing drugs yet, so maybe we'll do that, you know. shop around a little bit. Edge Runners was a great watch, but man, did it punch my feelings. No, for real. Okay, so my boyfriend watched it, right? And I wasn't watching it. And my boyfriend is like, he's not like emotionally like stunted in any way. He's just like, he doesn't really cry a whole lot, right? I've seen my boyfriend cry 3 times in his entire life, okay? One of them was when his cat died. The second one was when his grandma died. And the third time I saw him cry was when he finished watching CYBERPUNK Edge Runners. So, like, to give you some context, this is so funny to you after mainly talking voice stuff. See, that's the thing, right? Is like, I think I'm pretty good at my teaching gig. I think I'm all right. But the thing is like, if you look at my content, I feel like where people are like, I'm a highly educated, you know, individual. I have a degree. I have 6 years of a teaching experience. I run my own business. But also I want to joke about cock and balls. And I think that should be allowed. Like, half my Skyrim TikToks are just me very poorly flirting with women. So, like, when people that I teach tell me, like, oh, yeah, I found you on TikTok, I'm like, huh? Because it's all just me just being like, hello, pretty lady. Can I stick my dick in you? And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's kind of like a toss-up, especially with Skyrim. Here, I almost did sex, and then I didn't. And then I got debated. But that's okay. We actually haven't, I don't know. The girl that I'm going after gave me, like, she was like, oh, yeah, let's talk later. And then she just started trauma dumping, which, like, I'll take it, you know. But it's not exactly what I wanted. Cyberpunk Lore's, the comic? I need to check that out. Future girl. Okay, so you guys know the way in. You have a giant witch hat, proof of highly education.
Yeah.
Yes.
Garage
yes.
In the back.
But
big hat bitches.
Quietly, yeah?
What?
Anything interesting happen over there?
Is there a cat?
Since we are here,
I still don't know if the animals are real
No one
people
in,
or
no
like
one out?
literal animals.
well, they went out.
Like,
for
if I have to
supplies
fight, like, I was trying to think of the name of an animal, but I keep thinking giraffe. I don't want to say, I want to prove that I know, like, more than one animal. I think I said tiger, and then I said giraffe, and now I can't think of any other, like, zoo animals. Like a hippo. Yeah, I want to fight a hippo. The animals are a gang called scavengers. Okay, that makes more sense. I really thought I was going to have to go in swinging and, like, shoot an elephant or something. I'm like, that's not what I want to do. I'll have to look into those. Yeah, they're really cool. But let's see. Enter the mall. Okay. All right. I got my bonking stick. Actually, do I have any other bonking sticks? Where are my other one-handed weapons? I still haven't gotten the giant dildo to kill people with yet. And I want to find that when I can. Katana. Yeah, we'll keep using... Well, what's the damage, actually? Yeah, I kind of want to fist fight a lion. I'm going to be real with you. Like, yeah, gang wars. That's cool, I guess. I want to fist fight a lion. I want some variety, you know? Okay, so how much does the bonking club do? I don't want to fight the hippo. They're terrifying. I don't know. Like, not to be dramatic, but, like, I could probably do it. Like, I think I could do it, you know? Would not want to fight a giraffe. I mean, you know, maybe I'm just built different, but, like, I think I could do it. Attack speed, damage per hit, 54. Oh, this is way better. Oh, my bonking stick sucks. You're past the point of getting the dildo? Wait, I thought I could go buy the dildo anytime. I can't buy the dildo anymore? I don't want to play anymore. I don't want to play anymore, bro. I just wanted a dildo to hit people with. Why can't I beat the shit out of people with a fucking bad dragon schlong? I hate it here. Okay. What is the best bonking stick? It looks like this is the best bonking stick. So, well, no more bonking stick. Now it's just bloody knife. So, that's okay. But see, that's how they get you, right? There's already blood on the knife. So, I'll stab them, and then I'll also give them syphilis, okay? Double whammy, all right? Are you guys cool? Okay, they're cool. They're cool. They're cool. You have to talk to the Militech women before the heist. Okay. Okay, so let me schmooze on in there. Hi. So you guys are chill. Okay, you guys are chill. Alright, let me... Actually, I probably should... Wait, what? What's going on? Ah! Okay. Whoa! Bro, chill! 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 Guys, stop! 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 Oh my god, what happened? What happened? Okay, stop blocking me. Jesus. Okay. What happened? What did I don't need a bonking. Oh wait, no, we do need bonking sticks. Switching to your stick is faster than reloading. Okay, there we go. All right, bam, bam, bam. Stop. Syphilis upon thee. Okay, there we go. Jesus Christ. All right, can't have one moment of peace and quiet in this fucking house. Okay, find the van in the lobby. Ooh, I don't know what any of this is, but I'll take it. All right, health item upgrade. Don't mind if I do. All right. Can I parkour? 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 Okay, there we go. All right. What's this?
This place was abandoned years ago.
Clear shelf.
No, it is not. Animals
Heh.
feast their eyes.
Fuck out of here. Okay, what's this? Connect? I'm jacking off. Okay, what's this? Oh, okay. This is like a puzzle, so you can be a hacker man. I don't remember how to do it. Okay, there's a sequence I need to follow, so it needs to go in this order. Okay, 7A, E9, 7A. So we'll start 7A. I failed immediately. Okay, let's try that again. Do here? 7A. E. I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. Okay. No hacker man right now. Okay. Are you a friend or not a friend? Oh, it says hostile, so you're probably not a friend, right? Yeah, no. Bang, bang. Oh wait, I should probably get rid of this. Wait, what? Oh, I wasn't supposed to kill them. Oh, this was a stealth mission. God, what's with all the stealth missions? I'm not here to be stealthy. What the? Bro. No. You do not come at me like that. No, you do not block me either. Okay? Show stuff. No! Jesus. With the pink booty shorts too? Fuck you. Can I teabag on him? How do I teabag? I don't know how to crouch. Ah! Okay, there we go. What? Who's shooting me? Who's next? Who's next? Yeah, it's kind of beefed up. Like, do I have a grenade? Whee! I don't think that worked. Tries to cut me off. Why? How would they try to cut me off? Just got you. Alright, what's this? Cowboy boots! Oh, okay. We gotta get the drip before I kill these people. Hi! Another grenade! Yeah! There we go. One target at a time. Oh, fuck. Reload. I'm crouching. You can't shoot me. I'm in a safe zone. You can't shoot me. Okay, there we go. Meow. Get away from the punch. Oh, my God. Okay, you're gonna make me come over there, aren't you? There we go. Get decapitated, idiot. Okay. Oh, I missed. Whoopsie. Hey, where'd you go? Ah! Hey! That's my move. That's my special move. Fuck you. Okay. Yeah, give him. Dick on. Okay. Alright. Ooh, escalated. What? You're still shooting me. Where are you? Stop. Get some help. Get out of my life. Okay, here we go. Felt someone shoot me. Oh, hi. No. Okay. Anyway. Oh my God. They just keep coming. Leave me alone. Okay. Watching this comment. Listen. I'm not good with gun games. There's a reason I only play Skyrim. I don't know how to aim. When I played Overwatch, all I did was play Mercy and Lucio. And I got... What the fuck? Mind your business. Why are you so meaty? Stop being so meaty. You're not allowed to be that thick. Only I can be thick. Wait, you have a hammer? Wait, where'd you get that? Oh. Okay. I'm not good with guns. I'm trying my best. I'm doing... No. Stop shooting. Oh, wait, no, I'm shooting. Keep shooting. Okay, there we go. Okay. You stop shooting. I keep shooting. Capiche? Okay. All right. I am going to kill them until they are dead. Okay. See, I killed that guy. Maybe if I just show them a dead person, they'll understand I mean business. Check that out. Ta-da! See? Okay, that didn't work. You know, you are not the first person to say I sound like Tiny Tina. I get that a lot, actually. So maybe I should finally play Borderlands. Let me see. Okay. Maybe it's just because I yell a lot and I have autism. Alright, let's go. Who's getting a smacking? Fuck. Smacking? Okay. And then, who's next? Who's next? I shoot to kill. Well, doesn't everyone shoot to kill? Oh, whoa. I wasn't sure if you were surrendering or not, so I'm gonna kill you just in case. What's this? Oh, I don't want to jack off right now. I need to kill people. Here, stop. You're so... Okay, there we go. You... we'll go... Whoa. Okay, the building's breaking down. Okay. Okay, this is a little stressful. I'm a little stressed out right now. I'm gonna be honest. No, I'm over cucumbered! I have too much junk in my trunk! Oh, fuck! I'm cucumbered! Okay, hold on. Let me... I'm carrying too much shit. And now I'm over cucumbered. Hold on. Let me drop something. Oh, wait, I got a new outfit. Okay, that might be a little too much. What else did I get? Didn't I get cowboy boots? I want to wear my cowboy boots. I know I'm in the middle of a firefight. Where are my cowboy boots? Yeah, cowboy boots. Yeah. Okay, and then didn't I get something else? Wearing, no, these pants, Yorinobu slacks. These look fancy. I want to wear these ones. Okay. That didn't do anything, but that's okay. I got a new jacket. That jacket, wait, this looks cool. I want to wear this one. Oh, that's right. Okay, there's a difference between armor. That's right. Listen, you're wearing an outfit right now, so your clothes don't change. That's right. How do I, where's my stuff? Quick access. I don't have consumables. How do I see all my, oh, backpack maybe? Oh. You could be abusing ricochet weapons too. Your handgun when shot at, oh, that's smart. Maybe I should do that, because I'm gonna get, I like this game a lot. I think it's really cool. I love story-based games with hot women for me to look at. Which is why I like this game so much. It gives me the same vibe Skyrim does. But I don't like guns. They scare me. I just want to cut someone's head off. Check Steam. What's on Steam? The fuck? Huh? What's on Steam? Use a katana? You know what? See, I don't think my katanas are good. I have my syphilis knife, but I don't know if that's gonna be. Let me check, because I do need to get rid of some of them. Where's my? Because syphilis knife is. Where's syphilis knife? Here's syphilis knife. 18 is any? Yeah, all of my katanas are mid, unfortunately. But welcome in first face. Unfortunately, syphilis knife is the best one. Wait! Oh, thank you, Boston. You didn't have to do that. Now I feel bad. Steve didn't give me a notification or anything. Thank you, Boston. That's really sweet of you. Now I can get the dildo. Yay! Thank you, though, gamer. I really appreciate that. Let me see. What can I put in my frontal cortex? Okay, we'll figure that out later. For now, I'm over cucumbered and we need to find a solution. Okay, I like shotgun. Shotguns are always fun. Shotgun, we'll do shotgun. And then, drop. This one's mid. Drop. Mid. Okay, you know, I'm browsing Twitch while downloading Phantom Liberty. So real for that. So real for that. This is my first time playing Cyberpunk, so I don't really know what I'm doing. But I was just gifted Phantom Liberty by Boston. Oh, Face, thank you so much for the follow. I guess I can keep girl boss. And I don't know what happens in Phantom Liberty. But I know I get a big dildo to hit people with. And I'll be honest, I don't know if anything else matters. Oh, I should be dismantled. Oh, I forgot I could do that. Okay, but yeah, this is my first playthrough. I have no idea what the fuck's going on. I'm also doing all this inventory management in the middle of a firefight. So we'll come back and we'll get them later, okay? Wait, can I dismantle them now? Oh. Okay, give this back. Let me dismantle them now. The dildo will cost a lot of money. Well, that's okay. Okay, the small price to pay for salvation. Oh, Gemmaplay, thank you so much for hanging out. Have a good rest of your night, gamer. I appreciate you. Let me see. Okay, let me dismantle them. How How do I do that? Do I remember how to do that? Hi, Sid Elliott. Welcome in, gamer. You slept with the corporal woman? No, I did not sleep with the corporal woman. I'm trying to sleep with the nomad lady, I think. It is not a small price. Well, welcome in. Okay, does it... What's the... Disassemble. Okay, there we go. So this one, mid, McMidson, mid, and mid. Oh, look how much space I have now because I'm not carrying 82 guns. That's crazy how that works, huh? Mid. Oh, I can't. Oh, I already fucked with that one, so I can't do that. Mid. So, don't worry, future girl. I figured that out, and I was really upset about it. So I downloaded a mod, so now I'm able to... This is my first playthrough. Everything is vanilla, right? Except for one thing. I downloaded one mod so I could romance Panam. I just wanted her so bad. I had a like mental breakdown on stream because I wanted this woman so bad. And I don't know shit about modding for Cyberpunk. I learned just so I could sleep with Panam. I just want her so bad, bro. I made it happen, okay? Sometimes you just gotta make it happen. Hi! Okay, I like that. Okay, that one was fun. Bam!
Yes,
Bam! Oh, Maximus Gustin, thank you so much for this YouTube sub. Stop! What is that? Is that a turret? Yeah, no, stop that. And you stop shooting me! Don't call me a cunt. That's not nice. Stop being... What is that? Spin move. Okay, that is not nice. If you are not nice, I will kill you. I will kill you. But Judy... See, I like Judy, but for me, Judy seems like a homie. You know what I mean? Like, I like Judy, and I'll probably romance her in another... Stop! Oh, wait, no, I'm dying. Fuck. Ah! I'm thinking about women, and now I'm dying. Okay, hold on. There's a lot going on right now. Okay, you need to die. Oh, wait, that's my baby. Fuck. Bam! Bam! Okay, there we go. Oh, shit! Okay. Oh, my God, she just came out swinging! Okay. Okay. Oh, fuck. Okay, pistol. Switching to your pistols. Faster than reloading. Okay. Alright, and then where's my... Oh my God, where's my fucking inhaler? Where's my inhaler? Is it X? Oh, fuck. Okay, there's my inhaler. There we go. Wait, Pitman sent you your boobs? Wait, she sent you your boobs? She sent you her boobs? This game is so immersive, it sends you other people's boobs. Jesus Christ. Stop! No! Are you dead? One more for good measure. Okay. Let me see. Okay, this is a little stressful, but that's okay. Okay, we're gonna, here, let's go kill the enemies near the van. Okay, there we go. I just need to go up there. I can do it. I'm brave. I'm not a pussy. Go for this one. Whack! Whack! Okay, I missed. That's okay. Did he just call me a chipped-ass cunt? What does that mean? Don't be rude. I'll kill you. There we go. Okay, I think that one's done. This guy? You know, there's a more effective way to do this. We'll figure that out later. Who else is shooting me? Okay. Okay, that one's down. There's another one. Wait, is this reloaded? Perfect. Okay. Oh, God. Okay. Alright, come here. There we go. Alright, finished up. Who else? Okay, I need to go up east. Oh, fuck, they just keep coming. Oh, my God. Okay. Okay, that's the enemies near the van, at least. Okay. They come in a box? The boobs come in a box? Shipped to you? With Amazon Prime? Goddamn. Okay. Alright, we're just gonna... Where's the stairs? I need to find the stairs so I can kill people. Okay. Reach the van. Wait, what? I thought I need to... Oh, this is the van. Okay. After the fight, would you like some pointers? Yes, I'm afraid. EEBEE, have you played Ghost Runner? I have not. What is that? Usually, the thing is for me, is like, usually, I don't play sci-fi games. I'm very much, like, as you can kind of tell by, like, my whole, like, ensemble. I'm, like, a fantasy lady, right? But I like this game. So, like, I don't know. I'm down to try more sci-fi stuff. But yeah, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. I don't know when the last time I leveled up was. I'll give him a good reason lately.
Must have pissed him off recently.
Cyberpunk-based game where you run around beat people up with a katana. I would like that. I would enjoy that. Oh, once we're at a point where we're driving in, I have to tell you guys about the character I came up with for my my Cyberpunk tabletop RPG game. Because it's stupid, and I think it'll be cool. What are they looking for?
What are they looking for exactly?
Internal data forts. If they crash our eyes.
We're gonna do an ad break after I get out of this cutscene just because I'm really thirsty, and if I don't run one soon, Twitch is gonna force me to run one. But it'll be for like 1 minute just so I can go grab more water real quick. I promise we'll be right back. Where do I come in?
So what's on me to do?
You must reach the agent. Easy now to find him.
Okay.
Look at the map. He is in cinema.
Cinema. Okay.
Step away now. This isn't your
What?
fight.
Who are you? Fuck!
God, pushed out. The runner know you are here. Hunt him.
Hunt him. How do I find him?
Okay. So what do I do once I find him?
Shoot him, I guess. Oh, maybe not. Okay, here, let me run an ad break real quick, just because if I don't run one every hour, Twitch gets mad at me, and it's like 5 minutes past that. So I'm gonna run one real quick, just so I can go grab more water, and I'll be right back in like 1 minute. Let me put my thing on. There we go. Okay, and then here's some tunes. My PL dildo is done. Good luck in your game. I go by dildo. Have fun with your dildo. Stay safe. Don't put anything up your ass if it doesn't have a flared base. Okay, we'll be right back in 1 minute. Beep. Okay, are we back? Are we here? Are we here? I got my water. I'm hydrated now. I'm very hydrated now. Okay, let's figure out what the fuck's going on with the Netrunner. Find the agent in the cinema. Oh boy, this is gonna be freaky, isn't it? Cool.
The agent man tries to cut you off.
What the
There is
heck?
a gate behind the camionette. I will open it.
Okay. I don't like this dude. This is freaky. Okay.
Okay, now to the second floor.
There's the stairs I've been looking for. What? What's that beeping? Are you the agent?
Huh?
Oh! Okay, guess not. He was just standing there, so I was like, is that my guy? Guess not. There's a tough boss coming up. Okay, let me save then.
You have company soon. Scan her right away.
Who is this? Do I need to scan her like?
She must have a weak spot.
None of those chair jumps.
Oh. Resets the tension. What do I want to do? Reduces enemy accuracy. Let's set her on fire first.
That lady from my pack.
Oh boy. Turn back or be terminated. This is gonna be rough. Okay. What the fuck? Okay. What kind of laser light show is this? Why is she just running like that? Is that... That's not how it's supposed to go, is it? I don't... Listen, I'm dumb as hell, so like... I'll take it! I don't think I'm really doing any damage to her, though. Like, it still says 100. Oh, no, she's just beefed as fuck. Okay. Can I do this again? Go on fire again. Be more on fire. This is, you know, there's probably a faster way to do this. Okay. Is that really just... Okay, it regens. Oh. Woo! Okay, okay, now she's... Reload. Okay, at least I can stagger her. Oh, not that much, okay. Alright, reload, reload, reload. Oh, she's cool as hell looking. God, I love big, beefy women. Ah! Okay. Okay, you have to go down to 70%. Oh, shit. Okay, where'd she go? Where'd she go? Where'd she go? Okay. Okay, there we go. No, I'm still reloading. Oh, God, I can't outrun her. She's fast, too. God. Oh, fuck. Okay, this may not be the right weapon, honestly. I have the high ground, Anakin. Here, let me actually... Here, let me do this. Let me overheat her again. Yeah. She has a jet engine in her back? How the fuck does that work? Oh, shit. Okay, I don't know what I did. Oh, did she just insta-kill me here? What? Did I hear?
Ready for some fun? What's going on?
Okay. God, this is rough. There's no way. Yeah, there's no way I should walk up to her. Absolutely not. Lower? No. Overheat her again, I guess? Alright, I'm doing damage at least. It takes me forever to reload. Here, I need to run. Yeah, my shit's not staggering her hardly. Alright, we're almost at 70. 76? 74? Oh, I fucking missed. Okay. Switching to your pistol? Where is she? Where is she? Fuck. Fuck. I need her. Overheat? Nope. Okay. I just don't want her to regen. Get to 70. 70. Oh, fuck! Woo! Okay. 73? Can I do it again? I just need to spam that, I think, just to keep her. Okay, 67? She shouldn't regen anymore. 64? Oh, we're doing it. We're doing it, besties. Oh, I'm gonna need my fucking inhaler soon. Oh, quarter. Fuck. Here, just let her run around. More overheating? No, I don't, ma'am. I would like you to stop. I need a build guide or something. Okay, we're getting there. No, not that one. Okay. Switch to the other weapon. Where'd she go? There she is. Oh, shit. We're almost there. Asthma? No, that's a grenade. Fuck, that's the wrong button. Asthma? Okay, inhaler, inhaler, inhaler. Where is she? Where'd she fucking go? Ma'am? There she is. Oh shit. I didn't see her because of like the flashing shit on the screen. Almost! Holy shit.
I think she's hiding.
Give me that shit. Holy fuck. Yeah, where's the hammer? I want that hammer, dude. Where's the hammer? Did I pick it up? Or is it somewhere else? Let me see. Holy fuck. Here, I gotta find the hammer. Hold on. Cause I think she threw it or something. She threw it past you? Yeah. Where is it? Cause I want that fucking hammer, dude. That was wild. That was a fucking... Oh! Well, I beat my first boss fight. Where is the hammer? Is that it? Yeah! Okay. Let me see that. Hammer time. Not that one. Okay. Now I get to make hammer time jokes. Yippee! Okay. Where's the agent? Oh, big boy hammer. Are you over here? Are you over here? Here, let me make sure all my weapons are reloaded. Okay. Hostile area. Quick save. Did it let me quick save? Yeah, it did. Okay. Explain how the builds work later if you want to just go through the perks. Let me actually... Because I know I kind of did it before. Here's what I have, like, right now. I have no idea what the fuck's going on. So, reset attributes. That's a thing you can do? Yeah, you know, maybe I should do that later. Maybe I'll find a build and we'll just pick one. But I know I like hitting things and I know I like using melee weapons. I know I like that. My heart belongs to Skyrim.
We need access to their data. Clear?
Old Town Road?
Proceed.
I could just sit here and watch this. I'm gonna be real with you. Brokeback Mountain? Coolest for stealth builds? Okay, that makes sense. You're 14 and a cool, which, okay. If you're the right perks, you'd be going for snipers and big crits, pistol crits. Okay, so that's the thing, is I don't do good with stealth, so maybe we should change that. I want to do big damage with big melee weapons.
Whoa, hey, easy.
What'd you do?
What did you do?
Well, now we can talk in private.
Can we watch Brokeback Mountain?
Just severed the connection to the rest of Pacifica.
Yeah,
Gives
we'll
us a little
respect
time.
that once we get out of here. Alright. Who are you?
Okay, no more fucking tangents. Fess up. Who are you?
Bryce Mosley, Netwatch Special Agent.
Oh!
Can we talk? Had a Spectre on you, didn't you?
I think
Saw
smart
and heard
weapons
all
would be
you
best
did,
for EEBEE.
and
What's
followed
that?
his orders.
Is it like a smart fridge?
No idea what the
Is it a
boys
gun
are
with
paying, but our
Wi-Fi?
pockets are deeper.
Not interested.
I don't want to
Not
incapacitate
a
him
money
right
job for me.
yet.
Just need an in with my mom Brigitte. Voodoo chefin'.
Brigitte and her lapdog
It
G
auto-locks?
Neptune have been frozen
Ooh.
several days now, ever since we shrouded their subnet with ice.
And you? Well, you were sent here to free them. Do you know why they didn't tell you everything?
No.
Because you're a Ranian.
A rain.
That's what they
Strength
call
builds are
outsiders
funny. I feel
brought
like that's
into
what I gotta go
special
for.
jobs
I just
for
want to hit
them.
hard.
When you're no longer needed, they chuck you. A fate for all Ranians.
Care to back that up?
Got anything to back that claim. But the Voodoos want to set me up.
Wanna? They did it already. Soon as you handed over your link, slipped in the Spectre.
I
and
fucking knew it.
Talking as if he was
I
there.
fucking knew jacking in was bad.
So obvious it hurts.
Asked for proof. Besides, I'd know.
That's so? Then please take a look. Run a system diagnostic.
Okay.
Fine.
There's one break that powers up your attacks. Yeah, that's what I want. What should I look up to find that kind of
And?
build? What's
Nothing
that
out
kind
of
of build
place.
called?
No trace of.
Do it again.
Because I'm gonna be
Then
honest, the reason I
cross-check
put
the
all my
result against the
points
first.
into cool is I was like, I want to be cool. I think I'm very cool. Just straight body? Okay.
Identical, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's not a real scan, it's a copy.
Brigitte and the other one.
I don't know what's going on here. I'm gonna
What's
be
their
honest. I don't
condition?
know if I should just knock him out or
Tags
not.
are active. So the VDBs must
I want to
be
get as much
keeping them alive
information
from
out of
their
him as I
side.
can, even if it's
But
not
they
like
can't sustain that
true.
forever.
Does that make sense?
They cannot, which in turn makes Brigitte and T less
You're flexible,
useful
you
to
move
us.
faster too.
Tried using their interface to breach the Voodoo subnet, but Brigitte proved stubborn. She managed to take some bites out of our systems before we secured her.
What do you mean
Little taste of
secured
your own
her?
medicine.
No, the blade perks? What's your offer?
Alright. What are you offering?
A compromise. I'll fish the voodoo virus out of your system. And I'll release both Brigitte and T. Neptune. They'll wake up like nothing ever happened. Not to worry. And all you gotta do is let us walk. With our data. Thoughts? Clock's flipping digits. Digits flipping fast on the clock.
Oh no. No!
Think I'll just stick to my plan.
Yeah. I don't trust him. He's too cocky. Oh shit. I'm rebooting. My brain blue screened, I guess. What's going on? Hey. Hi, Johnny. Did I make the right choice? Did I do good?
Hey, V, you alright?
Give me a sec.
Give me a sec.
The relic always
You
saves
look
my
just
ass,
like
dude.
him a sec ago.
Thanks. Wasn't asking.
Wait, did you kill this man, Johnny? Did you kill him?
What happened?
The net pig was right. Voodoos were blowing smoke. Soon as you gave them access to the Netwatch web, they roasted all the agents. And
So I made the wrong choice. Whoops. I should have listened to him, I guess. Whoopsie.
could be. In which case, you're welcome.
Think the Voodoos freed Brigitte?
Seems that was their plan. Worked thanks to you, I'd say.
Both sides
After
are
the
terrible?
Voodoos turned
Ah.
you into a fucking
Love me a good
kamikaze
lose-lose situation.
Who'd take a job from us spooky-ass voodoo boys? Placide took you for pathetic gutter trash. Someone who knows
I'm not gutter trash.
So what? I should have spilled the truth.
No.
I'm
You
like
take this to
regular
Brigitte.
trash.
Saved her sorry ass after all. Wouldn't mind a quick word with Placide, too. Shouldn't let this lie. Head to baddies.
Okay.
Grumpy motherfucker. Hope he likes surprises.
What'd you do to him? Is he dead? I don't think he's dead, but... Unity. What's this? Okay, so let's head out of here. And once we're out, we'll respec, I think. I think that'll be good. So let's see if we can get out of the mall with everything in 2 pieces. Oh, okay, that's just a TV. I was like freaking out for a second. I was like, what? Huh? There's more? I thought I killed everyone. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Let me out. Oh, right, down. Whee! Okay. Escalators, escalators, escalators. Eos. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Can I get through this way? Ooh, alcohol. I love alcohol. No, it's not a door. Okay. Yeah, I can't get out that way. Would you like an explanation? Yes, because sometimes I feel like I don't understand what's happening, and I should. But, like, the thing with this game, right, and I like this game a lot, but there's part of me that's like, maybe I should have waited to play it after I had, like, maybe I should have waited to stream it until after I had played it for a bit, right? The reason I say that is I like this game a lot. I think it's really cool. But the thing is like, it is a very, like, sensory heavy game. You know what I mean? So I feel like there's a lot of times where I'm like, and sometimes it's hard to focus on, like, streaming and, like, saying shit and, like, what's happening in the story, you know? And that's the thing of, like, why Skyrim works a lot of the times. The reason Skyrim works a lot of the time is I've played Skyrim for, like, thousands of hours at this point, you know? Like, it on Xbox and PC, it's probably around, you know, 1,000 hours at least, you know? But, like, this is a new thing, you know? So, like, sometimes I'm like, whoa, whoa, lots of things are happening. Huh? What?
You were wish to talk to Placide? Is that what you want? Because I can take you.
Lead the way.
Lead the way.
Rentrez.
Okay. I'll take a ride. That was a bad idea, wasn't it? I shouldn't get in the car with strangers. I mean, the music's kind of banging, so, you know. I'll take it. Hello? Hello? Did I crash the game again? No. Okay, good. I was really concerned. I'm like, girl, I didn't do anything this time. Huh? Okay. Hi. Whoa.
You returned. How? How you manage this?
Because I'm just that cool. I'm so... Oh, yeah, you set me up.
You set me up.
You boozer sal.
Oh, there's Brigitte.
Quittez-nous.
Where?
Yes, but I also saw her scans. She is Nora New. Voyez pep nous en bas. We are not safe here.
But it says area safe up top to the right.
You must be Brigitte. Hard woman to find.
You have something for me.
You know about the biochip, don't you?
Yes, and we must check its condition.
Do I get to lay down on the table?
How much you know from my scans?
More than Placide, I'm sure.
You recognize the biochip because you've been looking for it.
We must examine you. If you survive the gym, it is at the chip's cost.
Should have thought about that before you.
I want to be sassy.
If I was here, the chip would never be in danger. If it is in good condition, we offer you a fair price.
So there's also a cover I'll try to make it read. The Voodoo Boys are trying to breach something called the Black Wall that's in the net. It's a wall that keeps rogue AI from killing humanity. They have a lot of power. Netwatch shut off the Black Wall, and they cut off the Voodoo Boys from the net. So they need you to kill Netwatch. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Not that bad.
But like I said, it's a game that's kind of... There's so much happening. All at once. All at the same time.
Figured you might know a way to help.
What's
going
on?
All this? How did you find us?
Do you remember Evelyn Parker? How the perks in cyber work?
Evelyn
okay,
Parker.
Thank you, gamer. Let me
Name
see
ring a
that.
bell?
I'm gonna pull that up on my phone and then we can go over that after we finish this quest.
You found us
But I do want to do
because
it
she
now,
led
because
you
if I
to
don't do
us.
it now, I'm not
She
gonna
has
fucking
proved
remember.
not completely
Let me
useless
see.
after all.
Can you help me or not?
Listen,
The game kind of assumes you know a lot of stuff. That's the thing is, I came into this completely blind, right? And I don't mind that. I like learning shit. I like kind of like being thrown in, you know. But I didn't consider that when I started streaming it. Like, do I regret streaming this game? Absolutely not. I've had a lot of fun streaming it. But it is one of those ones where I'm kind of like, whoa, whoa, whoa. See what I'm saying? Whoa. That's all I got. Whoa. Whoa. All right, let's see. I guess we're just gonna follow her for now, then.
You guys sure seem to love this place. But honestly, you don't give off a strong religious vibe.
Yeah, this is a
We
churchy.
left our gods on Haiti, yet we are strong here without them.
Oh. Hi.
This way.
Hello.
So how come Placide didn't know about the biochip? He didn't recognize it in the scans.
Few of our people know about Kompeki Tower. But Placide, he is your bête de bas.
I don't know what that means. Does anyone know what that means? Sometimes when it's like the Arasaka stuff and they'll say like a bit in Japanese, I'll be like, hee hee, I know what that means, yippee! But like other languages, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Okay. Where are we going, Bessie?
Soon you will see.
In 2077, the NPCs still walk slower than you. Alright, let's see. Whoa! Oh, I'm having a moment! I'm having a moment! I need my inhaler! Help me! Oh shit. I'm just gonna throw up, aren't I?
The watcher
Hi.
did not notice the biochip.
I think it means he's an idiot. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Never gave him a chance.
Good. This would complicate our work.
I do not speak Haitian
This
Creole.
an old
Yeah, me
subway
neither.
tunnel?
No, part of the transcontinental maglev system. when all states were connected.
Hmm.
Like the net, it too crumbled after the war. Vieux et courant.
Where are we? Holy shit. Oh my god! What is this?
Bon.
In the tunnels?
We take you
Oh
into
shit.
the cyberspace. No better place for you to interact with the construct.
Why do you want Johnny?
Okay, hang on. Want to know what you need Silverhand for first.
We wish to contact Alt Cunningham. We know she and Silverhand were close.
Alt?
The relic which Arasaka held close.
Now you're
It is our
interested.
only lead.
Alt Cunningham. Heard of her.
Oh. Where? From who?
Johnny.
From Johnny.
Did he tell me?
Johnny.
All right, V. Guess you better tell her.
Tell her what?
About us.
About us? Ooh. Good. We're going public. Ooh.
Construct's active. Lets me and Johnny shoot the shit every now and then.
We will look at this too.
What, you think I'm hallucinating? Found myself an imaginary friend?
Little is known of how an engram might exist within a human's neural network.
Tell you one thing. Doesn't shake out well for the human. What's your plan to contact Alt?
We try to cut out a unique piece of Silverhand's engram from the biochip. Alt will know it. If something of the human is left after years beyond the black wall, she will answer.
Okay.
Oh, what? Said nothing about breaking through the black wall.
Well, now you know.
Now,
Yeah.
Connecté.
Connexion stable.
Oh boy.
Johnny, looks like you're the
Oh boy. This is about to get a little quirky, isn't
Yeah,
it?
whatever. Just do what she says.
Okay. I'm ready.
Let's do this.
Ugh. I know I'm not even like, I'm not feeling what's happening, but I'm like, ugh. Ugh. Oh my god, V whimper audio? Holy shit. Now what?
Okay. What now?
Oh fuck, no, not more ice.
Johnny.
Il paraît.
Marie plongée.
Ooh. Oh boy. This is trippy. What? Woo! I'm in the internet. Where's the furry porn? Hello? Where are we?
Where are we?
This is
Photosensitivity
our
warning here. Thank you,
Data
Boston.
fortress. Bridge to the deep net.
I want to go find the furry porn. Where is it? Where is it?
It's all so alive.
That's the whole game basically, but this
So
part
real.
specifically. Yeah.
Cyberspace
I do wish there was like a
breathes at all
photosensitive setting. You know, I get what they're going for. I get the vibe, but sometimes I'm like, can you just put up like a blue screen of death or something like that?
You are an exceptional case.
Yay!
Seeing something more than I am.
Yes. The cyberspace. It is always trop belle.
Why not?
So, what now?
We can begin. All is ready.
This feels like a lucid
We enhance your
dream,
link
honestly.
to Silverhand's neural network for a short
The
time.
ice is to keep you from
To grab
dying.
the
It's like a
fragment.
coolant system for a PC.
We must
You
find
would
the
cook
data
yourself
from
if you went to the subtent
Alt
without.
alone.
Ah, that makes sense.
Brigitte?
What? 2023. That's. Oh wait, no, that's not current year anymore. I forgot. (2015, 2014, 2013. Holy shit. We're going way back. It's time? Hi, TOS? Oh no. Nudity.
What's happening?
Oh, this is trippy. This is like that one. Oh. Wow. Oh, I don't like that. I like close my eyes. I'm like, ah. Ah. Ooh, makes my eyeball hurt. There's gonna be a sex scene and drug use. I love sex scenes and drug use. Yippee! I think I have nudity disabled, so we should be okay.
They'll never fade away.
Oh. Are we all having sex together? Like, are we all just gonna witness this? Hold hands and sing Kumbaya? Yeah, why wouldn't I do that? Actually, let me, I have nudity disabled, right? Right? I do have nudity disabled. Right? Well, guess we'll never know. Maybe you should cover the screen. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I mean, Twitch said if it's in-game nudity, as long as I'm not the nudity, it should be okay. We'll see what happens. If it's there, we're cooked. Goodbye, bud. Push.
But I'm the only one with a vision.
You watching porn all by yourself? I'm with the science
you got
team.
a better one, like I said, go fuck yourself.
Damn. Nice guitar. Drugs.
Fuck.
Is it the concert or Carrie?
Oh, hello.
Said you weren't coming tonight.
I'll be coming tonight.
Changed my mind, lover. Look at you, all hot and bothered.
No sex. Nope. 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 Whoa. Oh, we are. Oh. Okay, I think it just skips some stuff. You guitar solos play every time. Oh, she's pouring boobs on her. No, she's pouring booze on her boobs. Boobs on her boobs. Boobs. Oh, okay. I think I have nudity disabled. I think. Oh, okay, maybe not. Is there more sex? Are we having sex? Oh my God! Feet! Ah! Get that out of here! I don't want to see feet. Blech. Oh my God! This is. I don't know how I feel about this. I feel uncomfortable. We all went through that together, I guess. Can I? Are we good? Yeah.
Goodness gracious me.
Okay, real talk. Can we be so fucking real for a second? If I just finished pounding the shit out of a girl and after sex she goes, goodness gracious me, I think I'd kill myself. Oh God, no cursing. Oh, we have until 9:18. Okay, this could be rough. Okay. Normally she would have her boobs out. Okay, well, good thing she doesn't have her boobs out. That means I did it right. Will I watch this again with nudity disabled? Yes. But like, what? Goodness gracious. Like, what? Like, what?
A damn shame that's that.
Do it again.
What, smoking after sex not zen enough for you? We gotta rewrite the art of war, too?
We're done, Johnny. With it all. I just couldn't ghost without saying...
That's rough.
Something.
Just gave him the, like, best sloppy of his life and was like, bye.
You don't.
That's crazy.
I'll always...
Gladly fuck you when there's no one else around who wants to.
Oh, he's a dick. I mean, we know that, but, like, still. None of these answers are good, by the way. Like, none of these answers are good. You know what? We're gonna embrace the fuck boy. Yep.
Guess you got fucky lucky today.
You can be
such
a bastard, Johnny.
All of a sudden, yeah, I just gave the best fucking pipe of my life.
Things were swimming.
Well, what's wrong with that?
Change your mind?
We all heard you,
Eats at my
lady.
gut. Because you knew what you were signing up for.
Look, if you
Oh
were just
shoot!
another
I did say
charismatic,
okay. No, till
douche
9
canoe running around
20.
after his dream
9:20.
with his head up
Okay.
his ass, I couldn't care
I can do this.
less.
I can do this. Okay, we can do this. I'm a
It's
good.
all
I'm a
a
good.
lie.
I'm a good
That
noodle.
concert, samurai, all of it. A ginormous fiction. You're not a rocker boy, Johnny. Face it. Ought to join the wired wackos on the corners, frothing at the mouth as they scream death to Arasaka.
Is she gonna fix me? Oh, thank you for the hydrate, Chromie. Don't blow the smoke in her face. Don't blow the smoke in her face.
Huh, I get it. Like to fix your men, huh? Not
for the
first
posture
to
check.
try,
Lord knows I need
believe
it.
me.
Honestly, I've got better things to do. Just hoped I'd help you realize you're deluding yourself.
Nice butt.
And that doing anything about it, that's on you.
Okay. More drugs.
I think we're done for the day, so you can fuck off.
See, I
can't talk smack about I can fix her girls because I can fix her girls. Grab what? I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to be.
Another goddamn
mean.
word, okay? Just
Well, I'm
shut
already
up
being mean,
for
but I don't want to
once.
hit her. That's messed up.
You're fucking hopeless.
He's
You don't
messed
know
up, but
fuck
still.
all about me. This is all we have, all we are.
What? Ew. Oh, I'm not being homophobic. I'm just being a hater. I love gay people, but PDA is where I draw the line.
Got somewhere to be.
Huh? Let me walk you home. It's dangerous out here.
Come on, I'll walk you.
I feel really bad. I didn't realize it was two dudes, and I went, ew.
Ran out of
I'm not
boosters,
homophobic.
didn't
I'm gay. I just didn't like the sloppy noises they were making. How long are you going to be mad at me?
So how long you think you're gonna be mad?
Yeah, this is why I'm walking you home. Do you see this? Do you see this? There's weirdos out here.
Let's get out of here.
Why's that guy standing here?
For a drop, Silver Rocker.
Heck off.
Fuck off.
How many more
Whoa,
minutes left?
short
This way?
fuse on
8
this
minutes.
one,
We're
huh?
doing it. Wait, what?
Go, run!
Hey, where do you think you're going?
Oh, boy. What?
No!
What?
Fuck off! Let me alone!
One of the reasons that Carrie stayed in the band was because he loved Johnny, but Johnny isn't gay, so it was just hopeless. Aw. Oh, no. I mean, honestly, I get it. I have fallen in love with many a straight girl, and it stings every time. Kitty.
Really did you, didn't they?
Who are you? What's your damage? Huh? Well, that was an experience, huh? I don't know. I like Johnny Silverhand. Like, he's one of those characters where it's like, is he a good person? No. Do I enjoy his story and enjoy the character and learning about the character? Yes. I think he's a cool character, but he's an awful person. So what did we learn? Johnny Silverhand is kind of the worst. I can't swear right now, but Johnny Silverhand is kind of a big stinky doo-doo poopy head. Is that okay? Can I say that? Is that allowed?
Been a while, Johnny boy. How long did you say? 2 weeks since I last cobbled you up?
Where's Alt?
Where's
Being in a rock band can lead to terrorism. You know,
Who was with me?
maybe the boomers that were
bought
against
you
sex,
and you
drugs,
alone.
and rock and roll. Maybe
Fuck,
they were on to
Somebody saw
something.
Ask your
It's a
savior.
slippery slope.
Said his name was Thompson.
That you back there and what?
And women. Well, I like women. You know, not to make a drastic, you know, stance, but I like women. I do not like terrorism. I diagnose you with women. No!
Johnny. Yeah, fuck it. You won't listen anyway.
Nope. I will not. I'm the worst. Hee hee. So, you come here often? Can I have that candy bar?
How much you see?
Not much more than you. They wanted her.
Yeah, she's gone. Where is she?
You was
But we don't know. That's the bit,
And
probably.
you just stood there, dick in hand, gawking and dreaming of tomorrow.
Would have shredded us both if I jumped in. You see the guy's reflexes? Course not. He was that fast. Tech like that, you don't find in a dumpster.
So, what are you after? Chasing down a story? Fresh for the scream sheets? That why you scraped me up off the pavement?
Nah, had my story. But then some cats tossed her in the back of a van and sped off. You, aim to do something about it?
I mean, hopefully.
She was your output, wasn't she?
Alt's kidnapping, it's collateral shit.
Wait, I didn't want to pick that one. Oh, crap.
You even know what she does for a living.
Darn.
Girl's one of the best runners around.
Yeah, you don't know anything about her, Johnny. You're the worst.
So, one of how many? No. Only link to Arasaka's the fact that Johnny Silverhand's boning her.
She's been working for ITS lately.
Bro, he's trembling.
Wrote some real smooth black ice for them. Not to be duped
Bro,
in
he's
either sense
trembling.
of the
Johnny
term.
isn't the one who orchestrated the bombing of Arasaka Tower. It was Militech. The blame was put on Johnny so Militech wouldn't get in trouble. That makes sense, actually. Ooh. Ooh. Alki! Alki! Bad choices, bad choices,
Arasaka
bad
wants
choices,
her.
bad choices.
Abduction was a standard intercorp extraction. Nothing more.
What do they want from her?
Okay, so what are they after?
I'm like
Soul killer,
watching the
an
clock.
AI.
I'm like, when can I say bad
Sound
words
familiar at
again?
all?
Okay, 3 minutes. 3 minutes and then I can say bad words
The
again.
shittiest name ever.
It's no legend. Soul Killer's real. And your Chumbas at Arasaka just hired the runner who wrote it. Take that in. Saka with Soul Killer to do with as it pleases. Grim, my man. You even imagine that, Rocker? Arasaka will be unstoppable.
I'm coming.
Soul Killer will
Cool. Tell me the
The
rest.
way he cuts him off, I love it.
Do I hear extreme doubt?
No.
Oldest, tritest tale in the world. Arasaka was out to provoke me.
Why does he
And
have
it
so much
worked.
beef with Arasaka? Like, for real.
So what'll it be? Coming with?
Where to?
Arasaka Tower. To grab Alt. Right back.
Just you and me?
Wait, is
You
that
out of
why
your
he's going to
fucking
the
mind?
tower? Is this like right before the bombing? Like he goes to the tower to get her and then the bombing happens?
Come along. Let you watch from
No,
the
okay.
sidelines. Seem to like doing that.
Hey. 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes of the bad words. The bombing is right. That's right. Okay. Whoa. Oh, he drives just like me. He's just like me, for real. Who's this guy?
I'll be in the car.
Oh,
Can't
that's
wait too
the
long,
same
though.
guy. Okay.
You'll wait as long as you need to.
Okay.
Where the hell's Rogue?
Woo.
Sit. Stay.
Oh, dang, okay. Sit, stay. That's crazy. Okay, where's Rogue? Rogue? I'm sorry, can we...
Silverhand, got an IOU here with your autograph on it.
You seen Rogue?
What is that dancing, by the way? They're like vibrating.
I heard you two weren't,
Well, you heard wrong.
Excuse me. Excuse me. 1 more minute. Or 1 more minute.
Fuck. Johnny, give me a hand here.
What?
Heard you weren't talking to me.
Dunno.
The
Seem to be
Porsche.
talking
The
to you.
Porsche. It is nice. What?
How'd about now?
Now you can go fuck yourself.
Okay. You know what? Fair enough.
Well, what?
You know who he
Rogue.
was talking to. I need a name. Just
Rogue.
one.
I wish I could remember. I do.
Rogue. Hates Arasaka because he served in one of the wars until he realized it was a corporate war, then he deserted and began fighting against the system. Ah.
How's things, Engels?
Got a private meet going on in there.
Rogue back there too?
That makes sense, though.
Yeah.
Okay, I can swear again. We did it.
Private meet, so you said. Promise to be super unobtrusive.
Alright. Rogue. How many women is Johnny shagging? Probably like 10 billion. Or 8.
Hate these. John.
Ooh. Hey.
Lucky I found you. Wasn't sure
The
if you
way
hadn't left town.
We're waiting
Get
for a client.
fucked, Johnny.
One who
Get
values
fucked.
discretion.
What was
You
the
still
thing?
mad
I want to know
about
what the
that
thing was.
thing?
Give me the tea.
What thing, Johnny? That you fucking lied to my face? Put my peeps on the line?
No, you tell
Or
him.
that you were
You tell him.
fucking 3 other women behind my back before we were through?
This your new guy?
New partner?
I'm in my fuckboy era. I'm role playing.
Gotta
I'm
say,
role playing.
That famed charm of yours? Overhyped. Or maybe just
She is
going
going
vague.
in.
You have a job for us, Rocker? Or are you mainly here to run your mouth?
I got a job. That's
4
it.
plus alt 5.
Urgent, but I got the euro.
How much?
Butt out. This isn't your
Oh,
biz.
I am yawning.
Is
I'm like,
now.
yeah, EEBEE.
Rocker just pulled out his wallet.
Don't you get it? He's not here about any damn job. He's fucking with me.
No, I'm not
Last
fucking
time-
with you.
You'll be smarter.
Oh, alt's 5.
Take your
Okay.
eddies up front.
Still smashed?
So,
Yeah, I don't know if alt was one of the 3
how
girls. We
much,
don't know.
Rocker?
It's Arasaka.
It's Arasaka. I'll understand if you'd rather not.
If you wanted my attention, you just earned it.
Yippee!
But if you're aiming for a friends and family discount, I'm not your man.
Corpos. Riding in on them hard. You two do that for fun.
For fun, but not for free. We leave that to Rocker boys.
Money's no object.
It's important. Name your price.
Ah. So you're either made of money, or you think we won't live to collect. Either way, Rocker, you're coming with us.
Okay.
Deal.
That it is. Urgent indeed.
Shit, Johnny. Didn't notice you had a fucking tail?
Mr.
What?
Silverhand. You're coming
What'd I
with us.
do? Oh, I did a lot of things, actually.
Here to take me to alt?
We're gonna try to be, like, kind of a good
like I
person.
thought.
Just a little bit and, like, pretend we care about her. Woo! Oh! Fight for your life. Okay.
You, Mr. Popular.
Let's finish this.
Ooh, that gun! Okay. That is a cool gun. I like that gun. Okay. Woo! Swaggy.
Is this real? Who'd you piss off this time, Johnny?
I'm like, it's messing with me because their little things are yellow. And that messes with me because it's not like what I expect. Alright, we're going in. Whew. Okay. There we go. There we go. This one? I don't think you're supposed to use an elevator in the middle of an emergency, but Okay, here we go. He's very much an anarchist and hates corpses as a whole. Arasaka is especially evil out of the corpse. They'll take and use networks however they want before burning them out. He also deserted the U.S. military because it was corrupt and was actively using its soldiers to experiment with cyberware and all dissolution to the cause of the war aside. Yeah, like, I'm not saying he's a good person, but I get it. I get your drift, funny man. There most definitely will be more at the bottom.
We're parked outside. Coming?
Alright, here we go.
Thompson's waiting for me in the car.
Who?
Media, you wouldn't know it.
I'm impressed. Seriously.
Okay. Where are we going? We're going that way? Oh no, I need to go this way. There we go. Another one. Ah! Get in the Porsche! Woo! Can I get in? Yay!
Let's get the hell away.
His music is actually famous worldwide. Most of his songs are actively trying to get people to step away from corporate dependency. He's been full album hating on Militech, so he thinks that at least the corps are just have to get him at this point, and why wouldn't they? Yeah, I get it.
Arizona.
He's kind of real for that.
If they hit the car, we're fucked.
Oh fuck! I hate road shooting. I hate. Stop moving! Stop it! I hate road shooting. Shooting on the road. Okay. Oh god, I hate this. I don't know why, but the fucking shooting while driving, I'm not good at using my gun and driving at the same time. Oh, hi! Just shoot the cars? Okay, that makes sense. Now that I know. Porsche. Are there gonna be any more? I can't really look behind me right now.
I'll park somewhere. We'll chat.
Okay. This is wild. Okay, more escaping. Okay, my next move? How do I plan my next move? What? Yeah, that pistol is crazy. How do I plan my next move? What?
Alright, so we gotta pull out of Arasaka.
Alt Cunningham, net runner from ITS.
Oh. Yeah.
The tower.
Oh.
Take her there.
Yeah, that Alt was one of the ones he was
How
fucking.
you wanna play this? Now that you guys got a plan?
Yep. Distract them. Make some noise.
Set up right under Arasaka's windows
Yeah.
and crank it loud.
We will defeat
Blast the
capitalism with the power of
It'll be a gig to
music.
remember.
Fuck yeah. Hell yeah. This game is buggy still. Johnny's sections of the game are especially buggy. That makes sense. Yeah! I fuck with this. Oh no, I don't fuck with police brutality. But I fuck with Johnny playing music. That music's good. There's a quest where you can obtain his pistol. It's really strong. I definitely want it.
All right.
Listen, Johnny Silverhand's objectively a bad person, but the music was banging. I fucked with it. You recording all this?
You recording this whole thing?
Uh-huh. Why? Want to say a few words to the folks at home?
Do
Penis.
what you gotta do. Just stay out of my way.
I kind of remember something like this from the very beginning.
Know him well.
No, why?
No, why does it matter?
Don't like the guy?
It's called Rebel.
Don't trust
Yeah, is the music on Spotify like deadass? Like if they have an album of all his shit, like if they made that real, I'd buy it deadass.
A tape later. A tape of us breaking into Arasaka Tower.
That was the
Worry
2023 read?
about that
Okay.
if you make it out.
Come on, we don't have much time.
Alright. Let me take my gun out. There we go.
Mainframe. Gotta find the mainframe.
Easy peasy. Oh yeah, the whole game soundtrack. Fuck yeah.
Give me a sec. I'll get it open.
Okay.
Cover me.
Ready or not, here they come. Get ready. The four headed our way.
Okay, it's broken. Cool. No camera. Where? Ooh, shit. Okay,
This is it.
Alright.
So think we could use a tank. Solutions, anyone?
Can I just shoot it?
Let me try. Son of a bitch!
You're so stupid, Johnny. Yeah, surely you're just so cool and sexy you'll be able to rip the door open.
3, 2, 1.
Yippee! Oh. Okay, there we go. At least that door opened automatically. Alright, where's Alt? Die! Stop being alive! Okay, he's dead. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry I used you for sex and didn't care about you. I'm here to rescue you. Hi, Uncle, welcome in. I need him to pull that robotic head somewhere. Like, I absolutely would. I'm gonna be so real with you. Wait, really? I'm gonna be so real with you. I would fall for him. Like, I absolutely would be. I would fall for it, honestly. Hey!
I would advise you not to disturb her.
What'd you do to Alt?
Why she got her feet out?
I put her to work on a project of a lifetime.
Wait!
Get out of my way.
Is that a good idea?
Alt.
Because I remember them talking about, like, with disconnecting certain
Alt, come
things,
on,
it's like,
don't do this.
fucky.
Is she?
She might be dead.
Fuck.
Johnny.
The hell are you doing? Are you still
We've gone from
rolling?
I can fix her to I can fix
That's
him.
all we can...
Listen, I love being bisexual.
She's not.
Oh, he's got anger issues. He's got mad anger issues.
You have to kill him? We gotta go. Johnny! She's dead.
Whew! Character development. That's rough. That's rough. Well, maybe you should have been a better person in life to her before she died, but you didn't. So, whoopsie daisy.
Well, spit it out before you burst.
Huh? You were the worst.
Wow. You going for douchebag of the year?
Fuck you going on about?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I stand by that.
Alt, you always treat her like shit.
Don't you fucking mention Alt. Shit, you must have been watching some other flick. I took down Arasaka fucking tower for her.
Yeah, but you were also kind of a tool.
Why? I mean, you told her you two were nothing. You told her you cared about her as far as the end of your cock.
Didn't you fucking hear what she said to me?
I don't think those
Could've
were
just left,
comparable.
But no, I had to break my balls first.
Ah, it's cyberpsychosis. Johnny is a cyber psycho. Oh, wow, there's layers to this shit.
It ever occur to you she might have been right?
Taking her side. What is this? Strength and unity? Strength in numbers?
Oh, haven't changed a bit.
Damn.
What's
Yeah,
that
what is cyberpsychosis? I remember reading about it a little bit in the book,
Nothing occurs.
but I don't.
No.
Do you
But
just
this
go
is a
fucking
bit of a
berserk?
Deja vu. You're as bad as she was. Can't understand why you can't just fucking drop it.
Is you're planning a reunion? You want to ask Alt for help? Johnny, you're no solo act.
How's Alt supposed to help us though?
So how the hell you expect Alt to help us? I saw her get decommed.
She didn't die. She got out.
Mental illness where you stop
Escaped.
associating with humanity.
Wow.
Ah,
Looked to me like...
that's
She
fun.
fled into the net.
Oh.
When'd you find out?
When she made contact a little later.
And? What did she say?
That she was a captive in the Arasaka subnet. But they couldn't hurt her. And she told me not to come looking for her.
What'd you do?
So, what did you do?
Got my hands on 2 thermonuclear charges.
Ah!
Then headed back to Arasaka Tower.
We'll tell him.
Voodoo boys think they know where she is. Beyond the Black Wall.
Where nobody can touch her.
And Brigitte's primed to go there. Break through. Just to contact Alt. Talk to her.
Too much for our little pro.
Okay. Huh. Whoa. Damn, that was crazy. That was okay. Side note, every time we've had one of those really long fucking cutscenes, I always have to piss really bad in the middle, and then I'm like, damn, well, I guess I'll just piss myself. I haven't pissed myself, just for the record.
Yes.
But once we get out of this scene, we're probably gonna end stream because I have to pee so bad.
We are ready now to
Is CYBERPUNK ready to have a pee? That's right. Okay. The more chrome you have, the more likely to become a cyber psycho. Oh. What's going on? Oh boy.
Few have gone through to the
Oh.
other side, and none have yet returned.
Oh, hi! Thank you so much for the 6 months, gamer. I really appreciate you. You have 6 PlayStation 2s. Welcome, big gamer. We got all kinds of Johnny Silverhand lore, and now we're crossing the Black Wall, I guess. So that's cool. First of all, cyberpsychosis is a disorder that... Oh, that's right.
We will not pass through.
You have to have an inherent
You will
susceptibility.
take the code
Okay,
to
that
the
makes
other
sense.
side.
Should've guessed.
Fuck. Might have guessed. Never had any intention of helping me, did you?
It does not matter anymore. You will bring all to its end.
Yep. Okay.
Don't got much for options, do I?
Alright.
Ale.
Alright, time to give it a good old poking. Touch. Oh, shit!
How do I get to the other side? Brigitte?
Did we do it? I guess we're just there. Hello? Oh, this is fucky.
Alt?
Oh, I don't like that. Oh, hello! She ascends!
Johnny.
That's not me. Sorry.
You cannot remain.
The more traumatic people can better control it. I'd be so good at that shit.
Alt Cunningham.
Big lady!
What's going on?
What the fuck? Oh, this is so weird.
We will talk here.
Relax. Let me handle this.
Oh, there's Johnny.
Came through the Black Wall to meet me. That mean we're good? Things are chill.
Are we
between
chill?
us?
I have recognized.
I know I said I only wanted you for sex, but now you're some sort of cyber goddess. So are we chill now?
Give you a chance to pay me back for getting you out of Arasaka
Oh,
Tower.
bro!
V, this is Alt. Best net runner Night City's ever seen. Alt, this is V.
Hey.
You need to save her life.
To save my life. What's it gonna cost?
Netwatch propaganda has been effective. Do you see me as a demon who requires a pact signed in blood?
I have no fucking idea what you are, bestie.
Got no clue who you are now. Know a little about who you were. And Johnny, that he was important to you, while I'm no one. So I'm asking, what's it gonna cost?
I cannot help you.
Okay.
Can't or won't.
Can't. To attempt to do so, I would need access to more advanced technology.
You created the soul killer thingy, though.
What? But it's your tech. You created Soul Killer.
The program I created has little in common with how Arasaka has since repurposed it.
Fine, so how about Mikoshi? That advanced enough for you?
If I could gain access to Mikoshi, it would cease to exist.
Damn.
Good, we can work with that. We'll get you inside
There's
Mikoshi
something.
and you'll help V. Deal?
None of these options. Why can't we just be nice?
What can you do?
Why do I have to be a cunt all the time?
Everyone I've met so far says I'm too far gone.
By everyone, you mean Hellman? Saburo's personal ass munch?
Yeah, Hellman was kind of a dick. I don't like mayonnaise man.
Inside Mikoshi, I will create a construct of you, then disentangle your neural network from Johnny's.
Okay.
I shall then inject your engram back into
So
your mortal
he's
form.
okay. I get it. I get it.
Great. So we got a plan.
But how will you reach Mikoshi? I've created armies that failed to breach it.
They were children of the net. There's your problem. We're big.
Wouldn't Adam Smasher be considered a cyber psycho? I'm not sure.
Crack a window,
It does
slip you
sound
into
kind of
Mikoshi.
wild.
So we agreed?
Yes.
So you agree?
we are agreed. Find a path into Mikoshi. I shall prepare a program to help you navigate the local net.
Okay.
How will I contact?
Basically a mental break. Others it's cyberware
This is a
trying to
limited
take control.
address. It will be our secure communication channel.
Voodoo boys, what about them?
They shall let you pass unharmed.
Okay.
Those were our terms.
I don't know why, but my little like immersion thing broke, and I'm kind of thinking that might have been for the best. Holy fuck! All right, out of the ice bath. Out of the ice bath. Huh.
So you managed to survive.
Guess so.
Be interesting to see how your deal with Alt works out. Won't be easy to dupe her. And I'm not sure you guys know another way to operate.
You dare now to lecture me?
No, I'm just being honest.
Think I'd rather give you your due. Bet other Ranyons never live to enjoy this moment.
Enough. Alt can protect you in her realm, but here and now, you are in mine.
Whew. I'ma just head out. Listen, I gotta
Actually,
piss
it's
my.
just on my way.
I gotta pee real bad. Can I just leave? Yeah, I don't want to cause nothing. I just want to leave so I don't piss my pants. Okay, that's all. That's all I'm trying to do here. So, gamers, we are going to end the stream here because, like I said, I'm going to piss my pants. I'm like through that entire cutscene. I'm like. But I didn't want to, like, you know what I mean? I didn't want to, like, stop in the middle of it. Like, sometimes you can't. So I was just like, fuck. Okay. Shit. But gamers, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. I really hope you had a good time. I had a very fun time. I love Cyberpunk. I upload all my VODs on YouTube. I also have a Discord community where you can know when I go live and hear me talk about random shit. If you're subbed, sometimes I post voice memos that are kind of insane. And then I also have miscellaneous social media and all that jazz. And I released some new covers and I wrote a book. That's not done yet, but I wrote 2 chapters of it so far. So we're gonna do this kind of quick. Let me see who is live right now on Twitch, and we're gonna do we'll rate Tatsu! Yes, we will fix my build next time, so help me God. We will do that, and I have some stuff that Cola linked me, so we can do that. So we're gonna rate Tatsu. She's a friend of mine and a former student. Please give her the same love and affection you give me. We're gonna do it, which is simple, because I don't rate her a lot. I'm not gonna be a freak. I'm not gonna be weirdo. We're gonna just do EEBEE raid. Please give her some love. She's playing Minecraft. And I will catch you on the flip side. All right. Good night, gamers. Bye, 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 bye.